The stage lights glittered. The MC's voice boomed across the auditorium. And so, the best actress of the year is... The spotlight snapped onto two prominent actresses. The MC continued, that is Hichi. A ripple of discontent passed through the other nominees. This MC was playing a dangerous game. Which Hichi? What did she mean, two Hichis? The first, Gu Hichi, was a classically trained actress, talented but unlucky. A performer with solid skills, nominated 2 years running, yet still without a win. Though her face remained composed, her fingers clutched her dress, betraying her tension. The second, Ku Hichi, possessed a striking face. An A-list celebrity. An A-lister with incredible luck. She'd skyrocketed to fame after debuting in director Lee Sijiale's film, and ascended to the throne of Best Actress. Now, the MC announced Hichi. Ku Hichi, let's all congratulate her. The spotlight locked onto the evening star. Gu Hichi felt a pang of regret. Ku Hichi rose, a triumphant smile on her face, and glided towards the stage. Their names differed by a single character, yet their circumstances were worlds apart. Amidst the thunderous applause, Gu Hichi sank into her thoughts. If Ku Hichi hadn't snatched that role from her years ago, she could have won this award 2 years prior. The memory of comparative articles flashed through her mind. Because of their similar names, that she was constantly being compared to Ku Hichi. They used the most flowery language to praise Ku Hichi, the thought further fueling her resentment. 3 consecutive years of near misses, like arrows piercing her heart. She grimaced while using the harshest words to diminish her. Zuts 10, hot hot. Her manager leaned in and whispered, after Ku Hichi accepts her award, it's your turn to host. Get ready. On stage, Ku Hichi stood aloof before the cheering crowd, oblivious to the excitement around her. Gu Hichi looked up, dejected. I see it, she thought. That lovesick look in Ku Hichi's eyes. She's looking at Gu Hichi. There's definitely some juicy gossip here. Outside, Hat trailed behind Gu Hichi. Are you sure you're not going to the after party? You're in the same company as Ku Hichi. If you don't go, the paparazzi will catch it and spin some story about you two not getting along. Gu Hichi's face twisted in a sardonic smile. We don't get along. Hat sighed, defeated. By the parking lot, a voice called out, Gu Hichi, I've been looking all over for you. Ku Hichi approached, followed by her entourage. I had to ask security to find you here. A true professional, Gu Hichi calmly asked, Ku Hichi, is there something I can do for you? Ku Hichi stepped closer, her voice dripping with false sincerity. Your performance just now was amazing. I heard CEO Zhao is going to have the famous Japanese composer Anda write an album for you. Leaning in, she added with a suggestive purr, congratulations. Gu Hichi bristled, her brow furrowing. This vixen, I'm not a man. Why is she flirting with me? Gu Hichi, don't you like it? Ku Hichi asked, then glanced behind her. But we like it. Gu Hichi followed her gaze, confused. 2 figures lurked in the shadows, cameras raised. Paparazzi again. A mischievous glint sparked in Gu Hichi's eyes. A plan formed. She grabbed Ku Hichi's hand. I'm a bit busy, she murmured, pressing close to Ku Hichi, her voice suddenly husky, so I won't be able to make the after party. Thank you for the invitation. The paparazzi, lurking nearby, whispered excitedly. Ku Hichi called her older sister. Another paparazzo chimed in, revealing a female celebrity's age. She's provoking her. This is going straight to the top of the hot search. Having successfully planted her seed of discord, Gu Hichi brushed off her hands and walked away. No reporters allowed inside, a security guard barked. Ku Hichi, meanwhile, was still basking in the afterglow of the staged intimacy. Ku Hichi followed Gu Hichi to her car. Finally, Gu Hichi turned, her annoyance evident. How do you know my nickname? She demanded. Ku Hichi replied calmly. That's not important. I want to talk to you privately. She tried to open Gu Hichi's car door. We have nothing to talk about, Gu Hichi retorted. Ku Hichi blocked the door with her hand, trapping Gu Hichi against the car. Gu Hichi stared at her, bewildered. They were inches apart. Without a word, Ku Hichi leaned in, her lips parted as if to kiss Gu Hichi. Gu Hichi shoved her away. Hey, Ku Hichi exclaimed as Gu Hichi retreated. Xiao Jing, don't be angry with me. Seeing Gu Hichi push her away again, Ku Hichi looked perplexed. I just want to know why you dislike me so much. Gu Hichi laughed. Dislike you. You're so talented, so young, and already a best actress. You even look like the G, enough to make my useless ex-boyfriend completely obsessed. You're a living, breathing fox spirit. How could I not like a fox spirit? Ku Hichi blushed, swallowing hard. Gu Hichi stepped in her car. Kuhichi, I have a date later, so I can't talk anymore. Kuhichi looked confused. A date? Yes, Gu Hichi confirmed, sliding into the driver's seat and slamming the door. See you tomorrow. With that, Gu Hichi sped off, leaving Kuhichi standing alone, lost in thought. Older sister. Such a sharp tongue. She's clearly older than me. A chuckle escaped Kuhichi's lips as she pulled out her phone. Manager Zhao, I want to suspend all my film projects for this year. There was a pause. No particular reason. I just want to join the cast of Forgotten Crossing, the film Xiao Jing just signed on for. Yes, I'll play the male lead. And one more thing. Do you know who Xiao Jing has been dating recently? A moment later, a picture of Kuhichi appeared on her phone. Take a look at this, her manager said. Kuhichi snatched the phone, her face contorting with anger. Her again. Why does this old hag keep haunting me? Zhao Lin, CEO of her management company, asked, what do you think? Kuhichi tossed the magazine cover onto the table. I don't care. Did you call me here just to show me this? Zhao Lin calmly replied, of course not. I called you here to tell you that director Jiang has decided to cast Xiao Ku in Forgotten Crossing. Gu Hichi exploded. Cast her. She jumped up, lunging toward Zhao Lin. What about me? I wasted half a year on this film. How can they just replace me like that? Zhao Lin recoiled. Calm down. Xiao Ku isn't taking your female lead role. Gu Hichi sank back into her chair. Then what role is she playing? Zhao Lin replied, the male lead. Gu Hichi stared blankly, confused. What? She stammered, then asked anxiously, the male lead. She's a woman. Why would she play the male lead? Zhao Lin explained calmly. It's a cross-dressing role. Director Jiang was impressed with her androgynous look. Gu Hichi covered her mouth in disbelief. But if she's playing the male lead, we'll have to film without a lot of intimate scenes. Oh my god, how awkward. Ugh. Gu Hichi despaired, running her fingers through her hair. Intimate scenes. The thought made Gu Hichi turn to Zhao Lin. If you have any sense, you'll drop her from the cast. I'd rather quit than work with her. The words left her mouth, and she instantly regretted them, biting her lip. She stood up, arms crossed, fuming. If anyone should leave, it should be her. Why should I be the one to go? I've been preparing for this film for so long. I won't give up my role. Zhao Lin smiled inwardly. How the filming goes is the actor's concern. I'm simply informing you, not asking for your opinion. You can leave now. Gu Hichi scoffed, spun around, and stormed out, slamming the door behind her. Fine, I'll leave. But I won't let this go, she muttered. As she stepped out, her mind raced, a whirlwind of frustration and anger. I won't let her get away with this. Just then, the elevator dinged, its doors about to open. The doors parted, revealing half of Kuhichi's face. Kuhichi remained composed as the elevator fully opened. Her eyes lit up upon seeing Gu Hichi. Gu Hichi, in contrast, frowned, her hostility towards Kuhichi clear. Despite her displeasure, Gu Hichi forced a smile and greeted her rival. What a coincidence running into you, Kuhichi. I was just hoping to talk to you. Kuhichi zeponde jefelin ohat. What did you want to talk about, Gu Hichi? Gu Hichi took Kuhichi's hand. Kuhichi, enjoying the moment, followed Gu Hichi. Come with me, Gu Hichi said, her face flushed as she glanced back at Kuhichi with a deceptively gentle look. Leading Kuhichi to a secluded stairwell, Gu Hichi began, Kuhichi, have you heard from Manager Zhao yet? About Forgotten Crossing. A top star with your resources. Why would you stoop to taking a role in that film? Gu Hichi leaned against the wall, her voice laced with suspicion. I suspect you have ulterior motives. Kuhichi seemed lost in thought, seemingly not hearing a word Gu Hichi said. The only words echoing in her mind were, so close. Gu Hichi continued to press, stepping closer to Kuhichi with each word. You're not saying anything, so I assume you're admitting it, right? I knew it. What are you up to? Finally, Kuhichi spoke, her voice soft. Gu Hichi, she murmured as Gu Hichi continued to advance. The dynamic shifted. Kuhichi reached out, gently tucking a strand of hair behind Gu Hichi's ear. She gazed at Gu Hichi with a look of feigned shyness. The truth is, she began, then looked away, blushing. I joined Forgotten Crossing. Because of you. Gu Hichi's face flushed crimson with confusion. Because of me. Gu Hichi echoed, bewildered. She pushed Kuhichi away. I knew it. You're trying to compete with me. Kuhichi looked at her softly. Gu Hichi, I just want to be friends with you after this collaboration. Gu Hichi scowled. You think I believe that? Kuhichi's Maigen Li. Believe it or not, it doesn't matter. I'll prove it to you with my actions. Our collaboration is set in stone, Gu Hichi. I hope you'll accept that. Gu Hichi placed her hands on her hips defiantly. Never. Whatever you're planning, I won't let you succeed. Just you wait. On the first day of filming, the director roared, "Who told you to add lines to my script?" A voice interjected, "I think it works." The added lines fit the character's personality. Recognizing Gu Hichi, director Zhang's anger subsided slightly. "What are you doing here? We haven't officially started filming yet." Gu Hichi sat down, her face tense. "Director Jiang, I think casting Tang Yu as the male lead was a better choice. Gu Hichi is a woman. Using a female actor for that role is too risky." Director Jiang sighed. "My hands are tied. The contract is already signed. Besides, with Gu Hichi's influence and acting skills, the risk is worth it." "Gu Hichi, I know you're not thrilled about working with her, but you need to be professional. Besides, isn't this your chance to prove yourself? Show everyone that even alongside Gu Hichi, your acting won't be overshadowed." Gu Hichi sat stiffly, listening to the lecture. After a moment, as if struck by a sudden epiphany, she jumped up. "Of course, I won't be overshadowed by her. Quite the opposite. I'll make her look dull in comparison." Director Jiang patted her shoulder. "I know you're a talented actress. Go on, get prepared." Gu Hichi, brimming with renewed determination, replied, "Yes, Director Jiang. I'll go prepare right away." A fire lit within her. With a surge of confidence, she declared, "Just you wait, Gu Hichi." The director nodded approvingly, then leisurely sipped his tea. Reverse psychology always works on her, he mused. A few days later, on set, the costumes and accessories were ready. Zhao Lin, Gu Hichi's assistant, gasped, "You look absolutely stunning in this costume." Gu Hichi frowned, feigning modesty. "It's all right." Then, glancing across the set, she added, "Gu Hichi looks surprisingly good in men's clothing. That red really suits her." Zhao Lin bristled. "Hey, you're the actress I'm in charge of." She huffed. Then she too stole a glance at Gu Hichi. "Let's see to how good can she be? Definitely not as beautiful as you." And then a painful realization struck. Gu Hichi blushed, staring at Gu Hichi. "Oh my god, looking at her like this. Even I want to be the female lead." Gu Hichi's mind raced. Her costume actually looked really good on her. But she quickly reassured herself, turning away, "It's only for a moment. I'm beautiful too." Director Jiang called out. Actors gather around. "We're starting." A clap echoed through the set. "Action," he yelled. The first scene was in a bamboo forest. Gu Hichi, playing the young master, chased after Gu Hichi, playing the maiden. Lu Yao Xianzi. Gu Hichi, playing her part, turned, feigning annoyance. "What is it?" Gu Hichi pleaded. "Why have you come to Wangchuan?" Gu Hichi replied coldly. "I came to see Meng Ba. I didn't expect to disturb young master Yu's remembrance of his deceased wife." She turned to leave. "I'll be going now." Gu Hichi grabbed her hand. "Wait." Tears welled in Gu Hichi's character's eyes. Gu Hichi pulled her into a tight embrace. Their eyes met, locked in a gaze. Gu Hichi whispered, "Lu Yao Xianzi, you've never been a disturbance to me." Gu Hichi blushed. Then the world seemed to fall away. They leaned closer, their lips inches apart. Gu Hichi thought, "Why does this always happen?" "Cut!" The director yelled. The spell was broken. They had been kissing, deeply. Even though it was just a scene, Gu Hichi couldn't help but blush. She fumed inwardly. It's just a kissing scene. Why did they have to capture every single detail so perfectly? Flustered, she thought, why hasn't he yelled cut yet? This kiss is going on forever. I can't breathe. I hope I can still act the next scene properly. Suddenly, Gu Hichi's hand moved to her neck. Caught off guard, Gu Hichi didn't react, simply letting it happen. Then, her eyes widened in surprise. Gu Hichi had just used her tongue. Gu Hichi's inner composure shattered. That wasn't in the script. Infuriated, she shoved Gu Hichi away, but with more force than she intended. Gu Hichi stumbled backward, her footing unsteady on the makeshift boat set. She started to lose her balance. What the? Horrified onlookers gasped as Gu Hichi tumbled over the edge. Gu Hichi pushed Gu Hichi. Someone shrieked. Gu Hichi, realizing what she'd done, lunged forward, desperately trying to grab Gu Hichi's hand. But she was just inches too late. A splash echoed through the air. Panic seized Gu Hichi as she stared down at the water. Someone, save her. Cries of help. Where's the rescue team? Erupted from the crew. Gu Hichi gripped her own hands tightly. Will she be all right? She whispered, her voice trembling. Below, Gu Hichi thrashed in the water. Then she resurfaced, gasping for air. The crew rushed to the water's edge, ready to help her out. Gu Hichi glared at them, her voice strained. Don't touch me. I can get out myself. On the boat, Gu Hichi breathed a sigh of relief. Thank goodness she's okay. Accusations flew. Gu Hichi, What did Kuhichi do to you? Why did you push her? Kuhichi stammered. I didn't mean to. She didn't follow the script during the kiss. I just wanted her to let go of me. I didn't mean to push her that hard. Another voice chimed in. Kuhichi was following the script. Kuhichi flushed. The script said it was supposed to be a light, fleeting kiss like a dragonfly skimming the water. Director Jiang intervened. Enough. Everyone calm down. This is my fault. The original script did call for a light kiss, but I felt it wouldn't convey the complex emotions of the Dark Emperor realizing Liu Yao Xianzi is his reincarnated wife. So I changed it to a deeper kiss. Kuhichi stared at him, stunned. Director Jiang continued, I didn't tell you beforehand because I wanted a natural reaction. I didn't expect such a strong one. Thankfully, Kuhichi is alright. Kuhichi clenched her fists, remorse flooding through her. So Kuhichi hadn't been deliberately trying to provoke her. Director Jiang turned to the crew. Did everyone hear that? Kuhichi didn't push Kuhichi intentionally, so stop spreading rumors. He looked at Kuhichi. However, for the sake of smooth collaboration from now on, we all need to apologize to Kuhichi. Understood. Kuhichi hesitated, her thoughts churning. Apologized to her rival. How would she bring herself to do it? A knock came at the door. It was Kuhichi. She spoke timidly. Sister Ku, are you alone in there? Kuhichi quickly opened the door. Kuhichi's eyes widened. Kuhichi stood before her in a form-fitting bodysuit. It's me, Kuhichi stammered. Kuhichi gestured her inside. What is it, Kuhichi? Kuhichi forced a smile. Sister Ku, if you're free, would you like to have dinner with me? My treat. Inwardly, she thought, dinner counts as an apology, right? Kuhichi dekolin sopti. I'm sorry. Kuhichi, I haven't eaten out in 3 years. Kuhichi's forced smile faltered. Kuhichi propped her chin on her hand, a seductive glint in her eyes. But I suppose I could make an exception for you. Kuhichi brightened. What would you like to eat? Kuhichi's my fili. I only eat vegetarian. Half an hour later, Kuhichi wheeled a tray of food into the room. I went to the kitchen myself to supervise the preparation of these dishes. I guarantee they're fresh, clean, and delicious. I made the matsutake mushroom soup you wanted, Kuhichi said brightly. If you don't mind, please try some. Eat up, and then I have something I want to talk to you about. Kuhichi replied indulgently. Just say it, Kuhichi. Kuhichi, emboldened, responded directly. Well, I just feel that you had a hard time this morning, Kuhichi, and I want to check on you. Kuhichi's expression softened. You still feel bad about this morning. So you personally came to make me a meal, right? She asked, a knowing smile playing on her lips. Kuhichi mumbled, embarrassed, yes. If I had known that was the director's intention, Kuhichi confessed, I wouldn't have pushed you. Kuhichi spoke gently. It's okay, but I hope you can agree to one thing as compensation. Kuhichi tilted her head, puzzled. What is it? Kuhichi leaned closer. Come a little closer, she whispered. Kuhichi, naive to Kuhichi's intentions, moved closer. Kuhichi murmured, I want, and then, teasingly, blew gently on Kuhichi's hand. Flustered, Kuhichi blurted out, Kuhichi, what are you doing? Kuhichi lightly touched her own lips, a wistful look in her eyes. I want to kiss you, she confessed. Kuhichi stared at her, bewildered. What? Kuhichi juka. One kiss for one fall into the water. It's a fair trade, don't you think? If you stay silent, I'll take that as a yes. Without waiting for a response, she pulled Kuhichi closer. Then, she quickly placed a light kiss on Kuhichi's neck. Kuhichi, flustered, stammered Kuhichi. She then glared at Kuhichi, her face burning. Are you crazy? She demanded. Kuhichi, blushing, retorted, no, I'm not the crazy one. That's why I came to make peace with you. You're teasing me, aren't you? Fuming, Kuhichi stormed out. The next day, on set, Kuhichi was on the phone when Zhao Lin, her assistant, approached. Kuhichi, Zhao Lin began hesitantly. Even though the director posted a clarification about Kuhichi falling into the lake, there are still a lot of people watching you. Kuhichi's influence is considerable. Kuhichi snapped, her voice laced with frustration. Let them do what they want. The voice on the other end of the line asked, hello, why aren't you arguing back? It was Liang Yuyu, Kuhichi's close friend and fellow actress. Did Kuhichi do something to you last night? Kuhichi fumed. She kissed my neck. But I understand now. She doesn't like me. That's why she joined this film I'm in. What challenging herself? Clearly, she's mixing business with pleasure. Yuyu laughed, saying that will only make people jealous, not sympathetic. It's Kuhichi after all. Kuhichi, resorting to prayer, clasped her hands together. I pray to heaven, if anyone wants to be treated like this by Kuhichi, please take my place. I don't want it. Yu laughed again. You silly girl. But I agree with you on one thing. Kuhichi is mixing business with pleasure. But what that pleasure is hard to say. Zhao Lin interrupted. We're about to start filming. There's another kissing scene today. Please don't overreact. Kuhichi bristled. I'm a professional actress. As long as Kuhichi is playing her role, I'll cooperate fully. From the set, director Zhang's voice boomed. Let's begin. Filming quickly commenced. Kuhichi called out, Liu Yao. Kuhichi, slipping into character, replied demurely, I am of a certain age. Considering our respective positions, you should address me as Aunt. Please remember this, Jade Emperor Immortal, and do not be so disrespectful again. Kuhichi, as the Jade Emperor, reached out and took her hand. I will not call you Aunt. Poor little Aunt, Kuhichi continued, her voice laced with playful mockery. Jade Emperor, you're not being very lovable. Director Zhang's voice rang out, pleased. Excellent. Very good. Kuhichi's eyelashes fluttered slightly, as if conveying her character's inner thoughts. What must I do for her to understand my feelings? Kuhichi could sense it. How can her eyes be so expressive? It's as if she's both afraid of her beloved seeing through her and afraid they won't understand. Kuhichi's thoughts were a whirlwind. This is the skill of a best actress. Calm down, Kuhichi, don't lose. Just then, Kuhichi leaned in. Kuhichi, getting into character, closed her eyes willingly. Good thing today's kissing scene doesn't involve tongues. I confirmed that several times. Suddenly, a small, almost inaudible gasp escaped her. Blushing, Kuhichi pulled away. The scene is over, right? She asked, her gaze soft and affectionate, leaving Kuhichi utterly confused. Then, Kuhichi turned to Director Jiang. Excuse me, Director Jiang, she said. When I kissed her, the light felt a bit too bright. Could we take a short break and film it again? Director Jiang reviewed the footage. The expression just now was indeed a little unnatural. Take a break, he announced. We'll film it again later. Kuhichi, move a little to the right. Kuhichi, to the left. Kuhichi looked at Kuhichi with a playful grin. So sorry, Kuhichi, we have to film the kissing scene again. Kuhichi pouted. She's doing this on purpose. She muttered under her breath. Kuhichi responded sweetly. Yes, you're right. Kuhichi gave her a scrutinizing look. Forget it. I'm too tired to argue with her. You acted very well, she conceded aloud. Watching Kuhichi walk away, Kuhichi smiled to herself. She's so cute. And then 4 hours of filming passed. During that time, the kissing scene was filmed 10 times. Back in her room, Kuhichi looked in the mirror and saw her slightly swollen lips. My lips are swollen from all that kissing. She yelled in frustration, her voice rising with each word. She continued, I definitely won't let Kuhichi get away with this. Her outburst startled 2 sparrows perched outside her window. Meanwhile, in her hotel room, the phone rang incessantly. Kuhichi finally answered. Hello. The voice on the other end said, Kuhichi, it's Shaoli, your manager. Could you please inform Kuhichi in room B that the filming location is changing tomorrow? We've booked flights for 8 a.m. tomorrow for the cast and crew. I've called both her mobile and landline, but she hasn't answered. Kuhichi inwardly scoffed. Why do I still have to talk to her after work? Maintaining a professional tone, she replied, No problem. I'll go over there in a bit. Leaving her room, Kuhichi pondered. Speaking of which, why isn't a big star like Kuhichi staying in the presidential suite and demanding special treatment? She's pretty down to earth. She arrived at Kuhichi's door. After a moment of hesitation, she knocked. The door swung open on its own. Why isn't the door closed? She's so careless. It's dangerous, especially for a woman. Stepping inside, she stumbled upon a dramatic scene. After 6 years, you still haven't accepted me. A voice pleaded. If it weren't for me, would you have even been able to enter showbiz? Kuhichi, now an unwitting eavesdropper, speculated, isn't that Lam Nui? Why is she saying, I love you to Kuhichi? Kuhichi couldn't help but curse under her breath. The legendary, retired best actress from 6 years ago, Lam Nhui, is confessing to Kuhichi. Kuhichi replied, I've always been grateful for your help, but I don't love women. Kuhichi, feeling a pang of guilt, thought, eavesdropping on their private conversation conversation isn't very nice, is it? Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the room. Guhichi's eyes widened in surprise. Lam Nhui pressed Kuhichi against the wall. Kuhichi, struggling, pleaded, Lam Nhui, please let me go. Lam Nhui began to grope and kiss her relentlessly. Why can't I kiss you? That Guhichi can. So why can't I? Just then, Guhichi called out, Kuhichi, are you in your room? Hearing someone approach, the two women inside panicked. Kuhichi pushed Lam Nhui away. Guiki, Komin. Hearing this, Guhichi pushed the door open. Lam Nui, she exclaimed. What are you doing here? What a coincidence. Guhichi's outward demeanor was calm, but inwardly, she was seething. Just you wait. If it weren't for me, you would have committed a crime. Ignoring Guhichi's thinly veiled accusation, Lam Nhui stormed out. Kuhichi then spoke. Lam Nhui, consider today's incident as repayment for your past kindness. I won't hold anything against you anymore. But I hope you understand that from now on, our relationship can only be as distant as water. Lam Nhui turned back. Kuhichi, she said, gripping the doorframe, I like you. As long as you're single, I won't give up. Guhichi watched, a question forming in her mind. Is Kuhichi really that attractive? Lam Nhui slammed the door shut, leaving the two women alone in the room. Kuhichi, her brow furrowed, looked at Guhichi. Thank you, Guhichi, she said softly. Guhichi blushed, thinking she really is a vixen. No wonder her love life is so messy. Kuhichi chuckled. I know you heard something and came to help me. Guhichi raised an eyebrow. Well, since you know, you should be grateful. And please, don't deliberately come back here again. Guhichi's inner monologue screamed. Wait, am I just going to let her off the hook like that? Seeing Guhichi's expression, Kuhichi couldn't help but laugh. Guhichi pouted and glared at Kuhichi, who laughed even harder. Guhichi, you're so cute and kind. Noticing the scratches on Guhichi's neck, Kuhichi said, let's take care of your wounds first. A flicker of satisfaction crossed Kuhichi's mind. Serves you right. Leaning closer to Guhichi, she asked playfully, could you stay and help me with this? In the bedroom, Guhichi rummaged through the drawers, looking for antiseptic. Kuhichi sat on the bed, giving directions. Yes, that's the ointment. Guhichi handed her the tube, confused. What's she playing at? She can do this herself. I helped her, but why do I have to stay? We're enemies. Kuhichi paused, hearing Guhichi's muttered words. Get some rest. I should go. Applying the ointment to her neck, Kuhichi looked at Guhichi. I've been in the entertainment industry for a long time, but I don't have any trustworthy friends. I know you don't like me, and I don't expect you to change your mind overnight. I just want you to believe. Intrigued, Guhichi turned around. Kuhichi continued, I've never had any ill intentions towards you. Surprisingly, Guhichi agreed to stay. Guhichi, would you mind listening to me for a while? Guhichi replied, Kuhichi, you're so boring. I can't believe all this pointless talk. If you want me to sit, I'll sit. There are no chairs in the bedroom, so I guess I'll sit on your bed. Guhichi deliberately kept her distance, flustered. Kuhichi, delighted, looked at her. Thank you for staying. Guhichi remained silent. Then, turning her face away, Guhichi repeated, if you're truly grateful, then stop doing malicious things to me. Kuhichi looked at her, puzzled. Are you talking about me kissing you or me stealing your role? Guhichi, both annoyed and embarrassed, retorted, of course I'm talking about you stealing my role. Though her inner voice screamed in protest at the mention of the kiss, she pushed the thought aside. I've always wanted to explain this to you, Kuhichi began. I didn't steal your role. The male lead, Chu Tich, has a specific principle. He doesn't film with actresses born in April. He's an accomplished actor with a lot of experience. Neither the producers nor the director want to offend him. So, replacing you is unavoidable. It was just a coincidence that I got the role. The media deliberately hyped up the rivalry between us. They didn't want to offend those higher up. I knew this a year or two ago, but I couldn't say anything, and I didn't want to. Guhichi stared at her in disbelief. Is that true? Kuhichi nodded. But now, I think I need to clear my name. Guhichi responded, I'll tentatively believe you about this. Then blushing, she added, so what about the other thing? Kuhichi looked confused. What other thing? Guhichi exasperated, lunged forward. The thing about Nactrin, you can't explain that clearly to me, can you? Kuhichi stammered, oh, and turned her face away. I can't really explain that clearly. Guhichi's inner voice, like a sly fox, taunted, look, she's speechless. Kuhichi suddenly turned back. I can only say two things. First, Nactrin isn't worth your affection. Second, I never dated him. Guhichi raised an eyebrow, incredulous. So, you're saying you painstakingly pulled him away from me to save me from being blindly infatuated with a bad man. Do you think anyone will believe that? Kuhichi, looking uncomfortable, tucked a strand of Guhichi's hair behind her ear. I admit I had ulterior motives. I didn't want to see you with someone who wasn't worthy of you. Guhichi turned her face away. You're saying all this just to justify yourself. But it's fine. You don't need to worry about what I think. I didn't come here tonight to become friends with you. We're both women, so I didn't want to leave you alone at a time like this. Kuhichi, hearing this, fell silent and lowered her head, making Guhichi wonder, why is she so quiet? Did I say something too harsh? Guhichi's inner, darker voice chimed in. Are you trying to be a saint, Guhichi? Her kinder inner voice countered. I'm just worried she'll do something drastic after hearing what I said. Then, she stole a glance at Kuhichi. Seeing Kuhichi still silent, Guhichi sighed. All right, let's not talk about this anymore. From now on, you need to remember to keep your distance from others. You're like a fox spirit. Don't you know you need to be wary of both men and women? Kuhichi, to Guhichi's surprise, looked pleased. She's concerned about me. Guhichi stood up, adopting a lecturing tone. Bringing someone into your bedroom to talk is not a smart move. You won't always be this lucky to escape unscathed. Kuhichi meekly replied, you're right. She's actually a good person. Guhichi frowned. Of course I'm a good person. It's getting late. I should go. Don't forget your flight at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Does she need me to give her a good person card? Just then, Kuhichi grabbed her hand. Wait a minute. Guhichi, losing patience, replied, what is it now? Kuhichi, gazing at her captivatingly, made one last request. Could you wait a little longer? Wait until I fall asleep before you leave. Guhichi frowned, exasperated. Are you sure this is the last thing? Kuhichi nodded obediently. 5 minutes later, Kuhichi tentatively whispered, Guhichi, are you asleep? Guhichi replied, no. 10 minutes later, Kuhichi, unable to fight off sleep any longer, yawned widely. Guhichi, are you asleep? Guhichi quickly responded, Kuhichi, I'm not asleep yet. 20 minutes later, it was Guhichi who had fallen asleep first. Kuhichi, looking at her with affectionate amusement, chuckled softly. Then, she gently touched Guhichi's neck. Silly girl, she murmured before rolling over and draping herself over the sleeping figure. Such a pity, she whispered, pulling herself back. Whether it's your personality or your appearance, you haven't changed a bit over the years. She settled back into her original position, propping herself up on her hand and watching Guhichi sleep. Remembering Guhichi's bright smile, Kuhichi gently caressed her cheek. You should smile more often, she whispered. I'll try my best to make you happy. Her gaze fell on the glittering necklace around Guhichi's neck, and a look of pain crossed her face. Zhao Lin said that was a necklace given to you by your first love when you were 16, she thought. No matter how important the event, you never take it off. You're still wearing it now. Thinking this, she gently removed the necklace and stared at it for a long moment. I don't like you wearing another man's things. She raised her hand as if to throw it away, but stopped. No, this is her memory. She opened a drawer and carefully placed the necklace inside. Turning back to Guhichi, she whispered, I'll give you a new one. The next morning, a gentle breeze rustled the curtains. After a long sleep, Guhichi finally woke up. The first thing she saw was Kuhichi's face, close to her own. Startled, she cried out, ah. Kuhichi woke with a jolt. Guhichi, what's wrong? Guhichi stammered, trembling, why are we sleeping together? Kuhichi, hearing this, burst out laughing. So it's because of this. Sitting up, she explained, last night, you fell asleep leaning against the headboard. I didn't want to disturb you, so I didn't wake you. We're both women, so what's the big deal about sleeping together? Guhichi immediately protested. What do you mean, no big deal? I haven't shared a bed with anyone since I was 8 years old. Kuhichi continued. In other words, you've only shared a bed with me since you were 8. Guhichi pushed Kuhichi away. What kind of logic is that? That's not the point. Well, what's done is done. There's no point complaining now. She slipped her feet into her shoes. It's getting late. I'm going back to pack my things. Crossing her arms, she glared at Kuhichi. You have an early flight too, you know? Seeing Kuhichi grinning from ear to ear, Guhichi felt irritated. What's she so happy about? She wondered. At precisely 8 a.m., the plane took off. Everyone soon landed at the airport for the next filming location. Guhichi, holding an ice pack in her left hand and pulling her suitcase with her right, grumbled, "Where's a trash can? Should I just throw this ice pack away? I'm carrying too much stuff." She looked at the ice pack indecisively. She remembered Kuhichi's expression when she gave her the ice pack. "I checked the weather, and it's going to be very hot these next 2 days. You need to be careful about the sun, Guhichi." Kuhichi had pressed the ice pack into her hand. "I prepared this for you." At that moment, Guhichi clutched the ice pack tightly. "I'll just take it back to my room," she thought. "I don't understand why she's being so thoughtful. She must know there are paparazzi around, so she's just putting on a show." The possibility of her genuinely caring enough to give me an ice pack is at most 50%. 50%, that's only half true. She's a really good actress. We've been filming for days, and she hasn't used her fame and influence to bully anyone. Should I reassess my opinion of her? Thinking about this, she recalled being in Kuhichi's room the night before. Kuhichi had said, "I just want to use this collaboration as an opportunity to become friends with you." Remembering that, Guhichi tightened her grip on the ice pack. I shouldn't be so hostile towards her. Just then she heard voices. "Is Guhichi in room K13? "Yes, right next to Kuhichi's room." Hearing this, Guhichi leaned closer to eavesdrop on the 2 staff members gossiping. "I hate that woman. She's always clinging to Kuhichi. She's desperate to become famous." The other one replied, "I think she's had plastic surgery. She wasn't this pretty when she debuted." The first one agreed. How else would she be so popular without plastic surgery? Clearly, she and Kuhichi aren't on the same level. Hearing them, Guhichi felt a pang. So that's how everyone thought of her. Even though she and Kuhichi were like fire and water, everyone still thought she was intentionally trying to create drama with her. The hotel staff suddenly turned around, and Guhichi quickly straightened up and hid around the corner. When she heard the footsteps fading away, she finally relaxed. Good thing they didn't come over here. She looked at the ice pack in her hand, scoffing. "I was overthinking it just now. What's so great about Kuhichi that I need to reassess her?" With that, she decisively threw the ice pack into a nearby trash can and pulled her suitcase inside. And I can only maintain our distance. Suddenly, Guhichi's phone buzzed with a notification. On Weibo, people were excited. "The image of you and our little Ku is so perfect for the movie's theme. I'm so looking forward to this epic battle between immortals and demons. Beautiful lady, you're so gorgeous. No wonder our little Ku praised you. I thought it was just okay before, but after watching it again today, I've become a fan." Reading these comments, Guhichi felt disheartened. Why is my Weibo full of Kuhichi's fans? Then, her eyes widened in surprise. She stared at her phone. It turned out Kuhichi's manager had posted this status. It was a picture from the new film. Guhichi flopped onto the bed in frustration. "I just want to keep my distance. Why is she supporting me?" She frowned at her phone. "This is so annoying. Can we just not get entangled with each other?" Suddenly, her phone rang. She answered hello. A voice on the other end said, "Auntie Hichi, it's Ii. I'm near your hotel right now." Hearing this, Guhichi excitedly sat up. "Why are you here?" Her heart leaped with joy. Could it be that my little niece misses me? The little girl, standing under the scorching sun, frowned. "I came to visit you, Auntie. I want to ask you to get Kuhichi's autograph for me." Guhichi's excitement deflated. Kuhichi again. Why is her name always popping up in my world? Little E continued. "Annie, my friend and I traveled for over an hour to get here. It's so hot outside. We're about to get heat stroke. Please, Annie, have pity on us. If you don't do this for me, then I'll just stand here and wait. I won't leave until I get her autograph. Even if I get sunburned to death, I won't leave. You don't care about me anyway." Every word pierced Guhichi's heart. She exclaimed in exasperation, "Are you taking advantage of my love for you to bully me?" The little fox's wounded pride was deeply affected. "Fine, Annie will go, okay." A moment later, Kuhichi opened her door. Guhichi avoided her gaze, feeling awkward. "Kuhichi, I have a favor to ask." Kuhichi brightened. "Guhichi, just tell me." Guhichi held out a diary plastered with Kuhichi's pictures. I want her autograph. My stubborn niece begged me. She and her friend are both your fans. Kuhichi seized the opportunity. Signing it is fine, but I want you to agree to 3 conditions. Guhichi was indignant. Kuhichi, do you know the saying to drop a stone down a well? Kuhichi cheerfully replied, it's not that serious. Why do you always think the worst? Guhichi retorted, with you of course, I have to consider the worst case scenario. And 1 condition is already too much, but you're asking for 3. Do you think I'm stupid? Kuhichi laughed, even more pleased with herself. Guhichi, you have another option. Pick up a pen, sign my name in the photo album yourself, and then give it to your niece. Guhichi turned to leave. Don't even dream of it. But she stopped, remembering her niece's dejected face. Auntie, you can't go back on your word. Her mood plummeted. Thinking about this, she grimaced. Kuhichi. She turned back. You win. Tell me your conditions. As long as they don't violate my principles, I'll do my best to fulfill them. Kuhichi calmly replied, come into my room first. I'll sign it inside. Inside the room, as Kuhichi signed, she asked, just a signature. Do you need me to write anything else? Mentioning her niece, Guhichi brightened. Write wishing Wang Yi increasing beauty, health, happiness, and constant joy. Kuhichi commented, your niece is so adorable and sincere. Every page is filled with rare special editions. Guhichi grumbled, of course, she's my niece, so she has to be adorable. Then, the little fox pouted in resignation. Otherwise, why would I be willing to be her servant like this? Kuhichi added, oh, right, because she's Guhichi's little princess, she's even more adorable. Hearing this, Guhichi preened. You really wanted to compliment me, didn't you? As they reached the door, Kuhichi said, I'll see you out, Guhichi. I have some things to do this afternoon. Guhichi's hand froze on the doorknob. She turned back to look at the little fox. But tonight, Guhichi's dinner will be with me. Guhichi blushed. Dinner. Kuhichi replied, that's right. This is my first condition. I want to invite Guhichi to dinner with me. This condition isn't too much, is it? The little fox nodded obediently. Then the door clicked shut. Kuhichi called out, see you tonight, Guhichi. Guhichi groaned. Darn it, I fell into her trap. The little fox's inner voice shrieked. That's right. She's a vixen. Guhichi sat fuming in the restaurant. Why did I agree to have dinner with Kuhichi? My life is already hard enough, and now she's pulling my pigtails and leading me around. Even though I don't have pigtails. She slammed her hand on the table in frustration. We agreed to have dinner together, but she's half an hour late. Is Kuhichi doing this on purpose to annoy me? She stood up, frowning in annoyance. Just then, Kuhichi walked in. Guhichi, I'm so sorry I'm late. Guhichi immediately started interrogating her. Kuhichi, I've been waiting here for half an hour, and you're just arriving now. What do you want? Kuhichi, dressed in comfortable athletic wear, walked in and took off her hat. I ran into a little something on the way. I knew a simple apology wouldn't be sincere enough. She set her hat down, her movements captivating. She then removed her sunglasses. So, if Guhichi agrees, I'll do anything to make it up to you. Guhichi was clearly mesmerized by the series of actions. She then covered her mouth, flustered. I don't need you to do anything for me. If you're here, let's just eat. We have filming tomorrow, and I need to sleep early. Guhichi then looked at the menu. But she made me wait so long. If I let this go, she'll think I'm easy to bully. Thinking this, a sly smile crept onto her face as she glanced at Kuhichi. Hee, I have a plan. Knowing that Kuhichi was a vegetarian, Guhichi deliberately ordered only meat dishes, braised pigeon, duck blood pudding, and steamed sea bass. She quickly handed the menu to the waiter, cunningly glancing at Kuhichi. I've ordered for her as well. Kuhichi, still oblivious, smiled happily. Thank you. The dishes began to arrive one after another. Here are all the dishes you ordered, ma'am. The little fox, Guhichi, activated her A-list actress innocent act. Oh dear, I forgot Kuhichi is a vegetarian, and I only ordered meat dishes. Kuhichi, not blaming her at all, said indulgently, it's okay. Just watching Guhichi eat is enough to fill me up. Guhichi, clearly not satisfied with this answer, forced a smile. Well then, I won't stand on ceremony. Needless to say, the little fox, like a starving ghost, devoured the food. After a while, her stomach full, she sighed, rubbing her belly. I'm so full. Kuhichi considerately handed her a napkin. Guhichi, here's a napkin to wipe your mouth. Guhichi took it. Thank you. Then, Kuhichi called out, Guhichi, you haven't wiped it clean yet. Gu-Hichi anxiously asked where. As soon as she finished speaking, Ku-Hichi leaned closer and reached out to wipe the corner of the little fox's mouth. "Let me wipe it for you, Gu-Hichi." She then withdrew her hand. Gu-Hichi, surprised, was speechless. "You." She watched as Ku-Hichi expertly wiped her own hand and then said, "Me." Gu-Hichi, wanted to ask something, blurted out, "You." Ku-Hichi replied, "Aren't you also a stickler for cleanliness?" Ku-Hichi continued, "I didn't expect Gu-Hichi to pay attention to the rumors about me. I don't like cleanliness, but being able to wipe Gu-Hichi's mouth is my blessing. You're not dirty at all." The little fox's heart began to flutter. You're so smooth-talking. Is this a necessary skill for a best actress?" Ku-Hichi said seductively, "I'm being serious." At this point, Gu-Hichi stood up abruptly, trying to escape. "I'll go pay the bill." She then went to the cashier. She looked on suspiciously as Ku-Hichi talked to a man. Watching them laugh and chat, Gu-Hichi couldn't help but sigh. There's no denying that Ku-Hichi's radiant aura is incredibly captivating to everyone, even though she's dressed so simply today. Then, Ku-Hichi suddenly looked in her direction. Embarrassed, Gu-Hichi quickly turned away. Outside, Gu-Hichi asked curiously, "That was the male lead who had intimate scenes with you in Lost in the Water. You must be happy, right?" Ku-Hichi, "Thou when he has a girlfriend." Gu-Hichi continued, "I watched that film. Throughout the whole movie, the male lead was like, I've been handsome since I was young, so I don't need to act. Only during the intimate scenes, when he was being seduced, did he act realistically. Don't you think he relies on his looks to act?" Gu-Hichi, frowning with displeasure, asked, "Why are you looking at me?" Ku-Hichi leaned in playfully. Is Gu-Hichi suddenly concerned about these things because she's worried I'm too captivating and will attract too many admirers? Gu-Hichi, flustered, blushed. "What? Why would I care who likes you?" She retorted, "You're overthinking it. I should remind you, being too beautiful isn't always a good thing. I don't care how many people are after you." With that, she huffed and walked towards a car. Ku-Hichi watched her affectionately, a soft smile playing on her lips. Then, she followed Gu-Hichi to the car. Inside, Gu-Hichi spoke urgently into her phone. "Liang Yu, what's wrong? Why are you crying? Say something." On the other end, you wailed, "Xiao Jing sob." Gu-Hichi winced, holding the phone away from her ear. Ku-Hichi, observing her, said, "She's too upset. You won't get anything out of her like this. Ask her where she is." Gu-Hichi sighed. All right, I won't ask anymore. Where are you right now?" You sniffled. I'm at the MO-Say bar." "I'll be right there," Gu-Hichi said, her voice tight with worry. Arriving at the bar, Gu-Hichi said hesitantly, "Ku-Hichi, you could drop me off here. You can go back." Ku-Hichi shook her head. "No way. I can't let you go in there alone." The two entered together. A male employee opened the door for them. Ku-Hichi, following behind, said, "I asked Gu-Hichi out, so of course I have to take her back to her hotel." Inside, the music pulsed. People danced enthusiastically. Gu-Hichi located the private room and pushed the door open. Her mood plummeted. Liang, unlike the sobbing mess Gu-Hichi expected, you was singing happily and energetically. Gu-Hichi glared. Seeing the two of them, you broke out in a cold sweat. Not only Xiao Jing, but Ku-Hichi is here too. Gu-Hichi stormed over, furious. "Nice, you heartless wretch. You faked crying to trick me into coming here, didn't you?" You stammered. I lost a bet. They forced me to trick you." She then scurried towards the door. "If I knew you were with Ku-Hichi tonight, I wouldn't have dared to bother you." Gu-Hichi pointed after her. "Get back here." The others, overhearing Ku-Hichi's name, swarmed towards her. "Did I hear that right? You're Ku-Hichi, the best actress Ku-Hichi. The lighting is dim, so I couldn't see clearly. I thought you looked familiar. I can't believe it's really you." Gu-Hichi watched silently as everyone crowded around Ku-Hichi. "I heard Ku-Hichi never goes to bars. Guess that rumor was wrong. Best actress Ku-Hichi. Since you're here, sing us a song. I'm a huge fan. Can I get your autograph?" Ku-Hichi sat down gracefully. "All right, everyone, please settle down. Autographs, singing, one at a time, please." Gu-Hichi watched, a frown creasing her brow. She really doesn't offend anyone. So nice to everyone. She sat down on a nearby chair. "I don't think she's approaching me out of genuine kindness." Gu-Hichi fumed silently. It's all for her perfect image. The crowd bombarded Gu-Hichi with questions. Miss Ku, I heard director Liu wants you for Liu Zhu in the second half of the year. Do you want to play Zhu Yingtai or Liang Shanbua? You look amazing dressed as a man. I was stunned. At that moment, someone approached Gu-Hichi. Miss Gu-Hichi, hello. My name is Noan. We went to the same school, the young woman said, offering her a glass of wine. My friend and I are huge fans of your work. Gu-Hichi looked surprised. Thank you, but I don't drink. I'm so sorry. Seeing her refusal, the young woman didn't press the issue and sat down beside her. That's okay. We can just chat. Gu-Hichi then asked, what role are you playing now? I'm playing a young maid, she replied. Elsewhere, someone asked Gu-Hichi, Miss Ku, are you still collaborating with Miss Ku? The media says you two are very close. You came here with her tonight. You must have a great relationship. Gu-Hichi gave a practiced smile. Yes, I'd love to continue working with Gu-Hichi. Hearing this, Gu-Hichi scoffed. So fake. I can't stand it. She turned to Noan. Excuse me, I need to make a call and see where Liang Yu ran off to. With that, she turned and left. Gu-Hichi looked concerned. Where did Xiao Jing go? Gu-Hichi, now in a restroom, muttered angrily, damn you, why isn't she answering? Outside, someone entered. It was two women. She's got it so easy, it's enough to make anyone jealous. Did you see her with Gu-Hichi? She's completely outclassed. The other woman agreed. You're right. I almost forgot. Weren't they supposed to hate each other? Why are they here together tonight? The first one replied, if they hadn't switched the female lead in this film, she should be thanking her lucky stars. Who would dare cross Gu-Hichi? Haven't you seen them lately? She's just pretending to be all aloof and noble. Inside, she's clinging to Gu-Hichi, trying to curry favor, right? Gu-Hichi is so high up. Gu-Hichi is definitely just trying to ride her coattails. Gu-Hichi's face burned with anger. I got the lead role because I'm talented. Who needs Gu-Hichi? Who's clinging to whom? And why do I always overhear people gossiping about me in the bathroom? She peeked out to see if the two women were still there. Seeing they were gone, she emerged. Gu-Hichi and I are sworn enemies. I need to stay away from her, or what will people think? Gu-Hichi, I have to stand my ground. I won't be fooled by you again. With renewed determination, she left the restroom. But someone suddenly pushed the door open. Gu-Hichi looked up, surprised to see Gu-Hichi. Xiao Jing, why were you in there so long? I was worried, so I came looking for you. Gu-Hichi replied coldly. Thanks for your concern, Miss Ku, but I don't need it. She turned to leave. Gu-Hichi, startled, grabbed her arm. Xiao Jing. Back in the private room, Gu-Hichi flung the door open and sat down heavily. She grabbed a glass of wine and gulped it down. Mo un luk su prit. You said you didn't drink. Then, blushing, she added shyly, and that was my glass. Just then, Gu-Hichi entered. She snatched the glass from Gu-Hichi's hand. Gu-Hichi, you have filming tomorrow. You shouldn't drink too much. Let me take you home. Gu-Hichi defiantly grabbed the bottle from the table. She took a large swig, then looked at Gu-Hichi mockingly. I wouldn't dare trouble Miss Ku. Raising her voice, she said, you'd better stay away from me. Then, she quickly left, leaving Gu-Hichi looking helpless. Out on the street, Gu-Hichi's composure crumbled. She swayed, dizzy and disoriented. Ugh, so dizzy, she muttered, pressing a hand to her forehead. Gu-Hichi is so infuriating. I need to get a taxi home quickly. If the paparazzi catch me like this, it'll be a disaster. She waved down an approaching yellow cab. Taxi. Just then, Gu-Hichi caught up. Gu-Hichi glanced at her, then climbed into the taxi and sped off. A thoughtful expression on her face, Gu-Hichi got into her own car and followed. She kept a close distance behind Gu-Hichi's taxi. A short while later, the taxi pulled up to a hotel. Gu-Hichi stumbled out, swaying precariously. Gu-Hichi rushed forward, concern etched on her face. Gu-Hichi, Mr. Zhao just called me. He wants you back at the office as soon as possible. Gu-Hichi frowned, irritated. Why did Gu-Hichi's voice keep echoing in her ears? Gu-Hichi, worried, trailed behind the sulking Gu-Hichi. Gu-Hichi fumbled with her key and pushed open the door. Gu-Hichi hesitated, her anxiety growing. Then, she followed Gu-Hichi inside. Gu-Hichi stumbled and collapsed onto the sofa. Gu-Hichi sai, isapada. She really can't hold her liquor. and yet she still drank so much. She approached Gu-Hichi, gently brushing her hair away from her face. "I won't let you drink again," she murmured. Suddenly, a phone began ringing insistently. Gu-Hichi picked it up. "Hello. May I ask who's calling and what this is regarding?" The voice on the other end replied, "I'm a delivery driver from Restaurant 20. The vegetarian meal Miss Gu ordered at 7:20 p.m. has been prepared. There seems to be a problem with the delivery address. Could you please confirm it for me?" Hearing no response, the driver continued, "Hello. Are you still there?" After a moment of silence, Gu-Hichi spoke. "Please deliver it to Hotel 20, room K06. Liang, you will receive it." Hanging up, she sat down gently on the bed. "Ordering takeout for me," she mused, tenderly stroking Gu-Hichi's cheek. "Will you drop this act of being tough on the outside but soft on the inside?" Gu-Hichi stirred, mumbling, "Bath. I want a bath." Gu-Hichi blushed, flustered. "A bath? You're in no state to bathe yourself. Shall I help you?" Gu-Hichi nodded meekly. How could Gu-Hichi refuse such a request? Moments later, a bathtub filled with rose petals was ready. Gu-Hichi leaned heavily against Gu-Hichi. Trying to maintain her composure, Gu-Hichi guided her into the bathroom. Gently placed in the warm water, Gu-Hichi sighed contentedly. "This feels so good." Gu-Hichi sat on the edge of the tub, gazing at her with a mixture of tenderness and uncertainty. But it was worth it, she thought, a small smile playing on her lips. "Time to start bathing you." She gently reached for Gu-Hichi. After a somewhat clumsy struggle, Gu-Hichi helped Gu-Hichi out of the bath. "There, all clean," she said softly. They walked to the bed, Gu-Hichi carefully laying Gu-Hichi down. Gu-Hichi, relaxed and flushed, nestled into the pillows. Gu-Hichi couldn't resist caressing Gu-Hichi's cheek, her gaze lingering as if trying to memorize every detail of her face. She leaned down and kissed Gu-Hichi's cheek, a playful smile gracing her lips. "This reward isn't too much to ask for, is it?" Dawn broke, a gentle breeze drifting through the open window. Gu-Hichi stirred, rubbing her cheek and yawning sleepily. Gu-Hichi stumbled to the mirror, her head pounding despite a long sleep. "Never drinking again," she groaned. Then, her eyes widened as she took in her reflection. She looked down at the pajamas she was wearing. "Why am I my pajamas? And these are the ones I hate the most." A blush crept up her neck as fragmented memories of the previous night surfaced. She remembered lying dazed in the bathtub, the hazy image of Gu-Hichi helping her solidified. "Gu-Hichi, change my clothes." The implications hit her like a tidal wave. "No, this can't be happening." She shrieked, panic rising in her chest. She raced to Gu-Hichi's door and banged on it. "Gu-Hichi, were you in my room last night?" The door opened, revealing a composed Gu-Hichi. Gu-Hichi stared, speechless. Gu-Hichi, looking effortlessly elegant, replied calmly, "Yes. You were drunk last night, so I brought you back to your room. I was worried about you." Gu-Hichi narrowed her eyes, suspicion lacing her voice. "You just brought me back." Gu-Hichi, like a cornered cat, lashed out. "Don't play innocent. The evidence is right here." Gu-Hichi, unfazed by her outburst, simply smiled. "I also bathed you and dressed you. I chose these pajamas. Aren't they cute?" Gu-Hichi's face flushed crimson. "The cutest ones are the silk camisole set," she retorted, then paused, a look of realization dawning on her face. "Wait a minute." Gu-Hichi, ever composed, replied, "Okay, I'll remember that. Next time, I'll put you in the camisole set." Gu-Hichi's face burned. "There won't be a next time. We're not even that close. This is completely inappropriate. Can you please maintain some boundaries?" Gu-Hichi's expression faltered. "Gu-Hichi, you're misunderstanding. You agreed to let me bathe you. That's why I did it." Gu-Hichi scoffed. "I was drunk. I didn't know what I was saying. Do I really need to remind you of that?" Gu-Hichi's voice softened. "It's precisely because you were drunk that I bathed you." Gu-Hichi frowned, enunciating each word carefully. "What are you talking about?" Gu-Hichi's mind conjured an image of Gu-Hichi struggling in the tub. "I was worried. What if left alone in your room, your dislike of feeling unclean overcame you, and you tried to bathe yourself all intoxicated? It could have been dangerous. I couldn't bear to think of the consequences." She leaned closer to Gu-Hichi. "Besides, Gu-Hichi, we're both women. It's not a big deal." Gu-Hichi, visibly swayed by her reasoning, still tried to maintain a semblance of defiance. "That's easy for you to say," she muttered. "If you're so comfortable with it, why don't you undress for me?" Gu-Hichi, never one to back down from a challenge, replied smoothly, "All right if you insist." Gu-Hichi's face flamed. She spun around and stormed off. "I shouldn't even be arguing with you. I'm leaving. Kuhichi's voice followed her, laced with amusement. See you on set, Guhichi. Later, on set, two crew members whispered to each other. Guhichi seems really nervous today. Do you think she can keep up with Kuhichi? The other hissed, Shoo, keep your voice down. She's looking this way. Guhichi, overhearing their conversation, slumped down in her chair, mortified. She curled up, trying to disappear. The first time she'd been nervous was because she was acting with Kuhichi. She couldn't help but recall the events of the previous night. The subsequent times, images of scenes she'd filmed with Kuhichi flashed through her mind. Her heart fluttered. She couldn't deny the captivating power of Kuhichi's performance. At times like these, the director's voice would boom through the loudspeaker. Guhichi, have you even looked at the script? I'll give you a little more time. Seriously think about how you're going to act this out. Take a break. Remembering these moments, Guhichi propped her chin on her hand, a troubled expression on her face. I've always been confident in my professional training. Whether it's acting skills or professional knowledge, I'm better than Kuhichi. That's why I felt justified in disliking her. She recalled the times Kuhichi stood proudly on stage, accepting awards. I thought she only got those opportunities because of resources and luck. But now I understand why the audience loves her. She's more talented than me. It's laughable that I considered her a rival, she mused. I didn't realize there's so much I could learn from her. Just then, a voice called out from behind her. Miss Gu, Kuhichi asked me to give this to you. Guhichi bristled. Her? We're not even friends. Why would she give me a gift? She waved her hand dismissively. I won't accept it. Please return it to her. Zhao Ling, Kuhichi's assistant, looked troubled, but she said I had to give this to you. It's her second condition. Zhao Ling recalled Kuhichi's words. Please tell Guhichi to help me. Because of what happened at the bar yesterday, my performance today wasn't good. Everyone has off days. Don't be too hard on yourself. Zhao Ling held out the gift. This is her way of apologizing for last night. She has to go to Beijing tonight and won't be back until tomorrow. She hopes you can de-stress for the 2 days she's gone. Don't let things like today happen again. Guhichi remained silent for a moment, then gently took the gift. What did she give me? She asked. Zhao Ling replied. I only know the packaging is very expensive. Guhichi opened the gift and frowned. This. Looking at the sparkling necklace inside the box, she gasped. It seems quite valuable. She placed it back in a box. I have to return this to her. Zhao Ling sighed. If you're not going to accept it, it would be better to return it to her yourself. Don't involve me. With that, Zhao Ling hurried away. I'm leaving. Bye. Guhichi called after her, exasperated. Hey, don't leave me alone with this. She stared at the necklace, unsure what to do. That evening, in her apartment, the sound of unanswered calls filled the air. Guhichi anxiously dialed Kuhichi's number. I have to return this necklace. Otherwise, it'll be even harder to draw a line between us. Why isn't she answering? When she finally heard a click on the other end, Guhichi brightened. Hello, but a man's voice answered. Hello, Miss Gu. This is Ning Chiu. Kuhichi went out to buy something and left her phone with me. Is there something you need? Guhichi's mood deflated. Ning Qiu. The voice on the other end continued. Miss Gu. Startled, she stammered, nothing. There's just a scene the day after tomorrow I wanted to discuss with her. If she's not there, then never mind. Goodbye, Mr. Ning. He replied, goodbye, Miss Gu. Guhichi fell into deep thought. Ning Xiu, the man who cultivated money-making artists in the showbiz world. If Guhichi hadn't connected with him, she definitely wouldn't be as untouchable as she was now. Suddenly, panic seized her. It's so late. Are they still together? This frustrating connection with Guhichi, she sighed. She doesn't even care about herself. Why should I, an outsider, worry about her? A moment later, the sound of dripping water filled the air. Guhichi lay relaxing in the bathtub. Suddenly, her phone rang. She reached for it. Hello, Liang Yu. Guhichi answered. From the other end, Liang Yu's voice chirped, Guhichi. I have some hot gossip. Guhichi, brow furrowed, replied skeptically. If it's not interesting, you're in big trouble. I haven't forgotten the last time you tricked me into going to that technician. Liang Yu responded defensively. Come on, I wouldn't do that to you again. I'm standing right outside your door. What's the passcode? Guhichi snapped. What for? I'm in the bath. Liang Yu giggled mischievously. Well, you don't have to open the door, do you? Just tell me the passcode. Guhichi grumbled. 3840. It better be good. Guhichi opened the door and Liang Yu stepped inside. I said it was hot gossip, and it is. The actress playing the second female lead alongside you is getting frozen out by her agency. Her luck's run out, apparently, as of tonight. Gu Hichi looked surprised. Wasn't she backed by someone powerful? She's been so arrogant since filming started. No one in the crew dared to say anything. Who did she offend? Liang Yu replied, I heard the person is so terrifying. Even her sponsor, that second young master Liang, was too scared to defend her. As for who it is, I have no idea. Sinking deeper into the bath, Gu Hichi pondered this. Well, that is some hot gossip. I'll let you off the hook for the technician incident. Meanwhile, Liang Yu picked up the necklace Gu Hichi had given Gu Hichi and held it against her own neck. This is gorgeous. If I wear this to the party tomorrow, I'll be the star of the show. Turning toward the bathroom, she called out sweetly, my dearest, most adorable Gu Hichi. Your poor friend has a small request. I wonder if you might grant it. Gu Hichi, losing patience, retorted, just spit it out already. Liang Yu paused, gathering her thoughts, then stood before the bathroom door. I have a party to attend, and I didn't bring anything nice. Could I possibly borrow some of your accessories? I promise I'll return them the day after tomorrow. Gu Hichi inwardly groaned, seeing through her friend's ploy, but relented. Fine, take whatever you want from the top drawer. Liang Yu, beaming, fingered the necklace already around her neck. I've got it. Thank you, my dearest, most adorable Gu Hichi. I'll be going now. Gu Hichi was taken aback by the swiftness of the transaction. Wrapping a towel around herself, she dashed out of the bathroom. Hey, don't tell me you took the one on the table. But when she reached the living room, Liang Yu was gone. Gu Hichi rushed back into her room and sighed in relief. It was still there. At that moment, in the hotel lobby, Gu Hichi walked in just as Liang Yu, still beaming, was leaving. Gu Hichi's sharp eyes caught sight of the necklace. Isn't that the necklace? Her face fell. The one I gave Xiao Jing. She called out, Liang Yu, wait a moment. Liang Yu turned around. Miss Gu, hello. She asked nervously, is something the matter? Gu Hichi, frowning, pointed at the necklace. May I ask where you got that necklace? Liang Yu stammered, from Xiao Jing. Gu Hichi's face crumpled. I put so much thought into choosing that necklace for you, and you just gave it away. She pulled out a black card and offered it to Liang Yu. There's enough money on this card to buy you a diamond from the same brand, several times larger. Please, return the necklace to me. It's very important. Liang Yu, flustered, touched the necklace. This is yours, but I thought it was Xiao Jing's. Did you give this to Xiao Jing? Gu Hichi nodded. Liang Yu quickly unclasped the necklace. Oh, I'll give it back right away. The two women exchanged the necklace, and Gu Hichi murmured, thank you, Liang Yu. Clutching the necklace, Gu Hichi stormed off, leaving a bewildered Liang Yu behind. Liang Yu, finally processing the situation, exclaimed, wait, I haven't explained. Xiao Jing told me to take some jewelry from the top drawer. I picked that necklace myself. I have to tell Gu Hichi, you're burning down my little fox's house. I'll tear you apart. Panic rising, Liang Yu thought, oh no, I'm doomed. Xiao Jing will kill me. I have to run. She sprinted off. Moments later, she frantically rang Gu Hichi's doorbell. Gu Hichi opened the door. Liang Yu, her voice trembling, choked out, Gu Hichi. Gu Hichi, confused by her friend's distress, asked what's wrong. Why do you look like that? Liang Yu, on the verge of tears, whimpered, Do you hate me more than anyone in the world? Gu Hichi stammered, I don't like you, but I wouldn't say I hate you. Have I offended you somehow? Devastated, Liang Yu clutched the necklace and held it out to Gu Hichi. How could you just give away the gift I gave you to someone else? Gu Hichi, surprised, said that necklace. But it's in the box, isn't it? She leaned down for a closer look. Wait a minute. I get it. That little sneak, Liang Yu. She took the one from the box. I should have checked. Liang Yu continued, her voice thick with emotion. Maybe you think it's just a cheap trinket or just an ordinary necklace, but I had to fight tooth and nail to get this back from the woman who loves to steal my things. By now, tears were streaming down her face. Gu Hichi, flustered, waved her hands. I didn't know it meant so much to you. Please don't cry. Liang Yu, heartbroken, clutched the necklace and looked at Gu Hichi. Overwhelmed with guilt, Gu Hichi glanced around nervously. People will think I'm bullying you. Let's go inside and talk. She quickly ushered Liang Yu into her apartment. Inside, Gu Hichi took Liang Yu's hand and said, I admit it's my fault. I should have kept it safe. I'm sorry you saw someone else wearing it. So, you're really giving it back to me now? Liang Yu asked, then abruptly snapped the necklace. Something that's been touched by someone else loses its original meaning. This necklace has lost its value. The necklace, a casualty of Liang Yu's dramatic outburst and the ensuing misunderstanding, lay broken in two. Gu Hichi whispered, "Ku Hichi, I said I was sorry. Why did you break it?" Liang Yu, overcome with emotion, sobbed uncontrollably. Gu Hichi, feeling utterly helpless, groaned. What am I supposed to do to make her stop crying? She awkwardly patted Liang Yu's cheek. Ku Hichi, your eyes will be red and puffy for filming. Gently wiping away Liang Yu's tears, she whispered, "It's not that serious. If you don't like people touching your things, I'll buy you another one. Exactly the same. Crying won't make it better. You're just upsetting yourself. Silly." Liang Yu's sobs subsided as she looked at Gu Hichi's concerned face. "Okay, I was wrong. It won't happen again." Finally calming down, Liang Yu sniffled. Gu Hichi hesitantly asked, "Ku Hichi, did this remind you of someone?" Liang Yu sadly wiped her tears, then turned away. "A long time ago, someone wiped my tears just like you, Gu Hichi." Gu Hichi, a mischievous glint in her eye, asked a boyfriend. Liang Yu blushed and lied, "Yeah." Gu Hichi pondered this. Aside from rumors, no paparazzi had ever caught Liang Yu on a date. Hearing her admit to having a boyfriend felt surreal. She turned back to Liang Yu, a playful smile on her face. "Your ex-boyfriend's good taste in jewelry stopped your tears. I'll buy you a new necklace tomorrow after filming, and a matching bracelet as a peace offering. Can we forget about this whole thing?" Liang Yu replied, "No need, I'll fix it. But if you really feel bad, then don't refuse my goodwill anymore, okay?" Gu Hichi, with an innocent, cheerful expression, looked up at the ceiling. "No problem. From now on, I'll wear anything you give me. 10 necklaces. Sure, just hand them over." Inwardly, the little fox thought, she's just being polite. She can't possibly give me that much. The next day on set, Gu Hichi fanned herself with a mini fan, complaining, "It's so hot." Suddenly, a car key appeared in front of her. It was Ling Tian, Ku Hichi's manager. "Miss Ku has prepared an RV for you, Miss Gu. It has air conditioning, a bed, and a bathroom. Please accept it." Gu Hichi, clutching her head, asked in confusion, "An RV?" Manager Ling smiled. "Miss Ku incite." Last night, Ku Hichi stayed up late, making a list of things you might need. "It's so hot. Xiao Jing must be filming outdoors. She needs an RV, face masks, a change of summer clothes, and a full set of jewelry." After a while, everything was ready. Ku Hichi mentally gave herself a perfect 10. Gu Hichi, embarrassed, refused. "I can't accept this. It's too much." Ling Tian placed the key in her hand. "Then you can tell Miss Ku yourself." As Ling Tian walked away, Gu Hichi stood up and called out, "Hey." Her phone rang incessantly. It was Ku Hichi. She answered, "Ku Hichi, the things you bought." Before she could finish, Ku Hichi cheerfully interrupted, "So you received them. Xiao Jing, you know, it makes me so happy to buy things for you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity." The little fox found herself in a predicament. "How can I refuse now?" she lamented internally. Ku Hichi continued, "Oh, and I just saw a lovely parasol. Do you prefer light blue or pink?" Gu Hichi raised an eyebrow. "Neither." Ku Hichi seemed not to hear. "I'll choose the light blue then. I'll bring it to the set this afternoon." Gu Hichi's tone sharpened. "Ku Hichi, please stop buying me things." Ku Hichi, oblivious, chirped, "Xiao Jing, I already sent someone to buy it. I'll hang up now." Gu Hichi was dumbfounded. "What?" Just then, Tan Yuan approached her. "Xiao Jing, have you heard? Your Ku Hichi is bringing her new protege to the set today. The lead actress, Lin Ming Ling, niece of the chairman of Xinguang Media." Gu Hichi froze, Ku Hichi's name echoing in her mind. "Who?" she asked faintly, then repeated in a low voice, "Lin Ming Ling." The director's voice boomed, "Actors, assemble." Everyone turned to stare as Ku Hichi and Lin Ming Ling approached. "Lin Ming Ling is so beautiful," someone whispered. "Their outfits are almost identical. Are they playing sisters?" Gu Hichi watched them, a puzzled expression on her face. Watching Lin Ming Ling, the green mean girl, eyed Ku Hichi with possessive intent. Gu Hichi felt a surge of unease. Tan Yuan, beside her, added, "I think they kiss in this scene, right?" Gu Hichi, her head bowed, mumbled, "Yeah." The princess forces a kiss on the emperor. The emperor refuses, so the princess threatens suicide with a hairpin. He tries to stop her, but falls victim to her magic and gets kissed. Tan Yuan looked at her quizzically. "Wow, you look upset. Don't tell me our little Xiao Jing is jealous. Why would you be sad? What do you have to do with Ku Hichi?" The director yelled, "Action." Gu Hichi suddenly focused intently on the scene. Tan Yuan observed her with a knowing look. Two doves fluttered across the screen. Ku Hichi, as the emperor, sat meditating by a lake. Then a voice called out, "Is anyone there?" A figure responded, "Your Majesty." Lin Mingling, playing the seductive princess, approached Ku Hichi. "Your Majesty, look what I have." Gu Hichi watched, a melancholic expression on her face. Lin Mingling is a good actress, she thought. She portrays a bright, open, yet coquettish noble woman with such effortless grace. She's definitely worked hard to achieve this. On screen, Ku Hichi stood up and replied indifferently, "I see." A mirror. Lin Mingling held up the mirror, her voice sweet. "My father said if we marry and live happily for 100 years, he'll give this to you." Ku Hichi coldly refused. "You should keep this treasure, princess. The matter of our marriage was just a jest between our parents. We cannot be together. I will speak to the heavenly emperor tomorrow. Please, princess, do not mention this again." As Ku Hichi turned to leave, Lin Mingling cried out, "Your Majesty." She pulled a hairpin from her hair. "Stop, or I will die right here. I won't let you break off our engagement." Ku Hichi turned back, a flick of her wrist sending a burst of energy that knocked the hairpin from Lin Mingling's hand. Lin Mingling, a cunning glint in her eye, looked up at him. "Your Majesty, you've lost." She pressed closer. "I have the world-protecting mirror. Supreme power is in my hands. Do you really think you can control me?" She's already got Ku Hichi in her clutches. Gu Hichi fumed. "Even if it's just acting, I hate this green tea mean girl Lin Mingling. I'll tear her to shreds." Ku Hichi frowned, struggling against the hold. "Let me go." Lin Mingling laughed triumphantly. "Then kiss me." Ku Hichi sighed, exasperated. "Princess, stop this nonsense." Lin Mingling looked at him intently. "The whole world knows we're engaged. What's wrong with a kiss?" Ku Hichi closed his eyes in resignation. Lin Mingling stood on tiptoe. "I'm going to do it." Lin Mingling, brazenly, cupped Ku Hichi's face and leaned in for a kiss. Gu Hichi squirmed, then turned away, unable to watch. That Lin Mingling actually kissed Ku Hichi. "I'll crush her." The director frowned. "Cut. Ku Hichi, relax a bit. Let's do that scene again." Ku Hichi frowned, a look of displeasure on her face. Tan Yuan murmured, "Ku Hichi's expressions are usually so good. I've never seen her get called out by the director before. This is the first time she's messed up her expression." Ku Hichi responded indifferently. Even the best can make mistakes. But inwardly, Gu Hichi agreed. It was strange for someone as skilled as Ku Hichi to flub a scene like that. Tan Yuan nudged her excitedly. "Hey, they're going to reshoot the kiss. Aren't you going to watch?" Gu Hichi stood up, feigning boredom. "You watch. I need to prepare for tomorrow's scenes." As Ku Hichi and Lin Mingling prepared for another take, Gu Hichi, a knot of irritation in her stomach, turned and walked away. The scene shifted to an outdoor swimming pool. Inside the women's changing room, Gu Hichi adjusted her dress, her mind still elsewhere. Back on set, still watching Ku Hichi kiss another woman. Suddenly, her phone rang. Gu Hichi, the voice on the other end said, "I just saw your encouraging comment on my blog about Qin Yan. Thank you." Gu Hichi was surprised. She hadn't expected a simple comment to warrant a call from the drama's male lead, Tang Yu. "Oh, it's you." Gu Hichi replied politely. "Don't mention it. We're in the same company. Besides, you're a role model for me. Your acting is superb." Dang Yi U Juka. "Still, thank you. It's a shame about the casting change in Wang Chuan. I was looking forward to working with you. Hopefully, we'll have another chance to collaborate. I have to go now. I have another appointment. Let me take you to dinner when you're free after filming." Gu Hichi responded cheerfully, "You're too kind. Go ahead and attend to your schedule. Bye-bye." As soon as she hung up, a notification popped up. "Tang Yu has followed you." Returning the favor, Gu Hichi followed Tang Yu back. She then placed her phone in her locker. Slowly, she stepped into the pool. "I have a scene where I fall into the water tomorrow," she mused. "I should practice holding my breath." With that thought, she submerged herself. Her body sank towards the bottom. Suddenly, a cramp seized her leg, sending a jolt of panic through her. "Oh no, I forgot to warm up." She thrashed weakly, her strength fading. A panicked voice called out, "Xiao Jing." Gu Hichi managed to raise a hand above the surface. A hand grasped hers and pulled her up. It was Ku Hichi. "Xiao Jing, are you all right?" she asked anxiously. Gu Hichi stared at Ku Hichi, her eyes fixed on her rescuer. "No," she breathed, Ku Hichi's image filling her vision. "Ku Hichi." But then, she pushed Ku Hichi away. "Why aren't you off canoodling with Lin Mingling?" what are you doing out here by the pool? Kuhichi didn't respond immediately, instead removing her jacket. She draped it around Guhichi's shoulders. When was I canoodling with Miss Lin? Guhichi stubbornly turned away. I don't want your jacket. This afternoon, you two were kissing like you were trying to break a world record. Kuhichi gently fastened the jacket around Guhichi. It was just for the script. Everyone wants to create the best possible work. Besides, if that's what you consider canoodling, then wouldn't you say Guhichi and I are even more intimate? Guhichi blushed. She tried to stand, a grimace of pain crossing her face. My leg, the cramp, it hurts. Her legs gave way, and she started to fall backward. Kuhichi caught her smoothly. Guhichi was surprised. Kuhichi's first instinct hadn't been to push her away. Guhichi blushed, then said, Miss Ku, please be clear. We have a purely professional relationship. Besides, I'm a woman. Don't use such suggestive language with me. Kuhichi looked hurt. I was just setting boundaries. Guhichi retorted, Lin Mingling is also a woman. Why do you explain things so strangely? Guhichi recalled the look in Lin Mingling's eyes when she'd looked at Kuhichi earlier. Lin Mingling isn't like me, she insisted. Kuhichi looked puzzled. What's the difference? Guhichi blurted out, there's a difference, and that's final. Let go of me, Miss Ku. I want to go back to my room. Kuhichi began massaging Guhichi's leg. Let me take care of your cramp. Then I'll take you back to your room. As she massaged, Kuhichi admonished gently, you should always warm up before swimming. It's easy to get cramps otherwise. Be careful tomorrow during filming. Guhichi, her emotions in turmoil, watched Kuhichi's ministrations. Internally, Guhichi debated with herself. Should I push her away? But her massage is actually quite good. It wouldn't hurt to enjoy it a little, would it? Giving in to the pleasant sensation, Guhichi said shyly, the muscle in my calf is really tight. Kuhichi moved her hand up to Guhichi's calf and began kneading gently. Here, Kuhichi asked. Guhichi, basking in the attention, murmured, Kuhichi's voice dropped to a husky whisper. Then I'll massage it. After a while, Kuhichi helped Guhichi back to her room. As soon as they arrived, Guhichi's phone rang. Miss Ku, your phone is ringing, Guhichi pointed out. The phone continued to ring, but Kuhichi seemed unconcerned. Guhichi hesitated, making no move to answer. She knew it was Lin Mingling. Finally, Kuhichi answered. Hello, Miss Lin. Guhichi sat primly, nibbling on a cookie, her ears perked, listening intently. Tomorrow morning. After the call, Kuhichi looked at Guhichi hesitantly. Something came up tomorrow morning. I won't be able to watch your underwater scene. Be careful. Guhichi responded indifferently. You don't need to say that, Miss Ku. We're just colleagues. I don't need you to watch me film. It's getting late. You should go. I want to rest. Before leaving, Kuhichi carefully checked Guhichi's leg one last time. Is your leg all right? Guhichi stood up abruptly. Even if it wasn't, you couldn't fix it. I was just being polite earlier. Your massage technique is terrible. Kuhichi looked hurt. I'm sorry I couldn't satisfy you, she said quietly. I'll go now. Get some rest. Guhichi realized she'd been too harsh. She watched, a pang of guilt in her chest, as Kuhichi turned and left. The next day, on set, Director Zhang's voice boomed through the loudspeaker. Everyone in their places. Are the actors ready? Guhichi, sweating despite the air conditioning, reread the script. I have to take off all my clothes. And the next scene is a dangerous one, with Kuhichi, no less. Panic rising, she sent out a silent SOS. I'm ready, Kuhichi announced. Director Jiang looked at her. You can rest for a bit. We'll film Guhichi's underwater scene first. Kuhichi spoke up. The rescue team won't be here until noon. We need to ensure the actor's safety. Guhichi felt a surge of happiness. I thought she wouldn't be here for my scene. She walked towards the set, a smile playing on her lips. I'm ready too. Liang Yu also chimed in. Director, I'm ready as well. Director Jiang beamed. Good, let's begin. Take your places. He called. Action. Guhichi quickly immersed herself in her role. Little sister, I'll go over there and gather some herbs for cousin, she said brightly. From behind, Tan Yuan replied, all right. I'll also look around to see if I can find the medicinal ingredients elder brother needs. But in truth, Liang Yu seethed with jealousy. Don't think you can use this opportunity to curry favor with elder brother. Her performance, however, was somewhat lacking. Her expression was stiff, her teeth gritted in resentment. Today, I will eliminate you. Meanwhile, Kuhichi observed the scene, then turned to Director Jiang. What do you think of Liang Yu's performance? She asked. Director Jiang considered for a moment. Her acting is a bit stiff. He began, analyzing her performance. She's only suitable for television dramas. Under the scorching sun, Koo Hee-chi wiped away the sweat, then smiled brightly at Liang Yu. Little sister, I found the herbs elder brother needs. Koo Hee-chi showered Liang Yu with praise. Yes, in short scenes, her acting is very natural. However, she paused, there's one issue. She's easily influenced by her co-stars. If her co-star is dedicated, she performs much better. But if her co-star is careless, she's negatively affected. Furthermore, her emotional control isn't very good. If she's acting with someone she dislikes, or if her mood is unstable, her performance will be inconsistent. Assistant Ling nodded in agreement. If you say so, then it must be true. Today's scene between her and me won't go smoothly. When they reached the scene where Liang Yu stabs Koo Hee-chi in the chest, director Jiang yelled, "Excellent. Cut." Koo Hee-chi picked up a towel. "Let me give her a shawl." Assistant Ling quickly stopped her. "Miss Koo, you giving her the RV before already attracted a lot of attention, and it also provoked Lin Mingling. It's best to restrain yourself sometimes." Koo Hee-chi looked at Koo Hee-chi hesitantly, then handed the towel to Assistant Ling. "You go." In the dressing room, Koo Hee-chi spoke to the makeup artist. "The script says the wound is on my shoulder. Could you move it up a bit?" The makeup artist looked troubled. "I just watched the previous scene. Miss Liang Yu's hairpin struck this spot." Koo Hee-chi pleaded, "Just a little higher, please. Just a little." The makeup artist firmly replied, "I need the director's approval for that." Koo Hee-chi sighed, defeated. Worry gnawed at her. Bothering the makeup artist is pointless. It's all for a better effect anyway. I just hope the scene goes smoothly later. But can I even do it? The thought of Koo Hee-chi undressing her and examining her wound sent a wave of embarrassment through her. And then we almost kiss. Overwhelmed, she mumbled to herself, I don't think I can do this. SOS. A while later, filming began. Koo Hee-chi lay quietly on the bed, being tended to by Koo Hee-chi. Koo Hee-chi tried to reassure herself. Koo Hee-chi, you absolutely cannot panic. Koo Hee-chi, in character, gently helped her sit up and began to untie her robe. In an instant, Koo Hee-chi was left in only a thin undergarment. She lay nestled in Koo Hee-chi's arms, her brow furrowed in pain. Director Jiang focused on Koo Hee-chi's expression. Miss Koo's hesitant expression isn't quite right. In the script, the Yu-Min Emperor and Liu Yu have already become acquainted in the mortal realm, but he doesn't have romantic feelings for her yet. Her expression seems a bit much, but this take is passable. Let's see how it goes. Koo Hee-chi held Koo Hee-chi close, a worried expression on her face. Even though I know the wound is fake, I still can't accept it being on Xiao Jing. Koo Hee-chi reached out towards the wound on Koo Hee-chi's body, but Koo Hee-chi flinched away. Director Jiang, annoyed, called cut. Then he boomed, "Koo Hee-chi, go back and watch your own performance just now." Koo Hee-chi timidly approached Director Jiang. She knew her acting was forced and unconvincing. Even a random extra could do a better job than me. The thought made her bite her lip in frustration. "I'm sorry," she said, her voice low. "Let's do it again. I'll definitely pay more attention." The director didn't make things difficult. "All right, let's retake the scene." Everything was reset. Action. Koo Hee-chi lay motionless on the bed, bracing herself. Once again, Koo Hee-chi began to untie her robe. Then she touched the wound. Koo Hee-chi breathed a sigh of relief. Thankfully, she's not filming my face right now. With my expression, I definitely wouldn't have passed the scene. Koo Hee-chi looked at her thoughtfully. Now I have to clean her wound. She froze, her hand hovering just above the injury. It's too close to her chest. Xiao Jing won't like me doing this. Director Zhang's exasperated voice cut through the air. Cut. He raised his voice. Koo Hee-chi, the wound is clearly lower down. Why aren't you touching it? Koo Hee-chi told herself, this is just work. Then she spoke. I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention. Let's do it again. Director Jiang waved his hand wearily. This is the third take for this scene. Koo Hee-chi, still not immersed in her role, simply stared at Koo Hee-chi. The director, seething, jumped to his feet. That's it. We're stopping. No more filming. The two actresses, defeated, looked at the director in silence. He began to rant. This scene only involves a little bit of skin, and you're already acting like this. How are we going to film the kissing scenes under the lotus flowers later? Do you want every kissing scene to take 2 days to film? Koo Hee-chi felt a pang of guilt. I'm sorry, Director Jiang. It's my fault. He retorted, you know it's your fault. Can you fix it? He continued, his voice sharp. No actors filming a romantic scene avoid discussing it beforehand. Even if you two truly hate each other, As the rumors say, you still have a responsibility to the film. Your performance is wasting everyone's time. Gu-Hichi sat motionless on the bed, despair washing over her. Ku-Hichi, worried, reached out a hand towards her. Then she abruptly stopped as Gu-Hichi spoke. I'm sorry, director. I'll definitely take responsibility for the film. I'll fix my attitude and film this properly. Hearing this, Ku-Hichi withdrew her hand. She turned to Director Jiang. Me too. I'll adjust my state of mind. He turned back to his seat, his anger still simmering. I hope so. Time passed quickly. It was already 9 p.m. Gu-Hichi stood before Ku-Hichi's door, knocking softly. The door opened quickly. Gu-Hichi began, I came to find you. She then stammered out the words, to rehearse. Looking at Gu-Hichi's innocent expression, Ku-Hichi teased, all right, but before we rehearse, I want to invite you to take a hot bath with me. Gu-Hichi, flustered, stammered, a hot bath. Ku-Hichi tilted her head. Yes, we can take a hot bath. It's easier to relax and talk while rehearsing. What do you think? Would you like to? It's unclear whether the naive Gu-Hichi agreed, but the scene shifted to the spa's hot spring area. Our little fox inwardly lamented. Could it be that she's put a spell on me? Why did I think taking a hot bath together was a good idea? Gu-Hichi hugged her arms, lost in thought. I came here to improve our relationship, after all. Just then, Ku-Hichi entered, causing Gu-Hichi to blush crimson and freeze. What followed was a sight that made Gu-Hichi's breath catch in her throat. Ku-Hichi began to remove her robe, revealing a flawlessly smooth back. Then, Ku-Hichi slowly stepped into the steaming pool, softly calling, Xiaojing. Gu-Hichi stared, her face burning, her entire body flushed with heat. Gazing at Ku-Hichi's impeccable figure, Gu-Hichi marveled inwardly. Her figure is the legendary golden ratio, 0.618. A moment later, Ku-Hichi looked at Gu-Hichi seductively and asked, aren't you coming in? Gu-Hichi, blushing furiously, clutched her arms and stammered, see coming. I'm coming right now. With that, she slowly began to descend into the water. Ku-Hichi leaned back slightly and murmured, I'll wait for you. Her alluring form shimmered beneath the surface of the water. But our little fox, shyly clutching her robe, searched for a topic of conversation. I need to say something. Finally, she spoke. Ku-Hichi, she began, then hesitantly continued. That time I was drunk. I didn't say or do anything crazy, did I? Ku-Hichi deftly tied her hair up, then turned and replied, why did you suddenly think to ask about that? Gu-Hichi fumbled, nothing, it's just, I don't remember clearly what happened. That's all. Her blush deepened. I don't like this hazy feeling. Ku-Hichi, captivated by Gu-Hichi's bashful demeanor, replied with a smile, you didn't do anything crazy. You just kept saying you hated me. Gu-Hichi's gaze darted to the ceiling. Really, I must have been in a bad mood that night. If I said anything to hurt you, I apologize. Ku-Hichi responded indulgently. It's all right. Hearing this, Gu-Hichi shyly reached out and called, Ku-Hichi. Ku-Hichi interrupted gently. I'll learn to understand you. Gu-Hichi stared at her wide-eyed. Ku-Hichi looked at Gu-Hichi affectionately. Xiaojing, are you still not in the water? Gu-Hichi stammered. Her slender legs dipped into the water hesitantly. I'm in the water now, she replied. The naive little fox playfully wiggled her toes in the water and added, if my feet are in, that counts as being in the water, right? Ku-Hichi chuckled, exasperated by Gu-Hichi's antics. Xiaojing is so adorable. Composing herself, she replied calmly, Xiaojing, are you shy? Do you not want to undress in front of me? As Ku-Hichi moved closer, Gu-Hichi quickly denied, no, not at all. Ku-Hichi leaned towards her, then straightened up, a playful glint in her eyes. All right then, I was going to say if you're really shy, you could just wear a towel in the water. I won't laugh. As soon as she finished speaking, bubbles rose to the surface. Gu-Hichi had submerged herself, only her head remaining above water. She looked at Ku-Hichi reproachfully. Why didn't you say so earlier? She reached for a towel on the edge of the pool. Handing it to Ku-Hichi, she said, I suggest you wear one too. Ku-Hichi accepted it indulgently. Anything for you. After wrapping the towel around herself, Ku-Hichi looked at Gu-Hichi and said, Xiaojing, if you have anything on your mind, just tell me directly. Gu-Hichi replied, I do have something I've been thinking about. Ku-Hichi turned to face her. What is it? Gu-Hichi responded, Ku-Hichi, I'm really curious. Why don't you mind how badly I treat you? And why are you so good to me? Ku-Hichi paused. Because Their eyes met, and Kuhichi whispered sister. Guhichi, looking into Kuhichi's deeply affectionate gaze, stammered, Sister Ku. Kuhichi leaned closer, whispering into Guhichi's ear, causing the younger actress to flush with a mixture of shyness and confusion. Then Kuhichi gently kissed Guhichi. The sudden kiss startled Guhichi, leaving her frozen in place. Her eyes, initially dazed, quickly filled with panic. Pushing Kuhichi away, she exclaimed, Sister Ku, what's wrong with you? Kuhichi leaned in again. Kuhichi began to explain, Xiao Jing, do you know what the biggest problem between us is? Guhichi stammered, what do you mean? Tell me. Kuhichi continued, it's that our real-life relationship is too different from the main characters in the film. In the film, Liu loves you Baichu so deeply, she even becomes a ghost for him. But you, Guhichi, irritated, interrupted, what about me? Kuhichi pressed closer. You always avoid me, as if you want to cut off all ties with me. Being kissed by me is like being molested by your father's killer. She continued to advance as she spoke. How am I supposed to act like this? Guhichi, considering the logic in Kuhichi's words, began to think. Then, she responded sadly, I admit, I still haven't fully accepted you. But we can't act like this during filming. Of course, actors playing lovers in showbiz can't all be best friends or lovers in real life. Guhichi glared at Kuhichi. I didn't like that sudden kiss. Even if it's for work, I still feel violated. Hearing this, Kuhichi hung her head dejectedly. It wasn't for work. It's just, I couldn't help myself. Guhichi was confused. What's with her today? I'm the one who was violated. Why does she look like the one who's been bullied? Kuhichi then said softly, I'm sorry. She moved closer again, but I still think we should cultivate our feelings and understand each other a little better. Inwardly, Kuhichi lamented, if this is the only way I can get close to her, then even if this action is meaningless, even if I get scolded, I don't want to let go easily. With a sigh of resignation, she leaned closer to Guhichi. At least you can tolerate physical contact between us, right? We'll have to film bed scenes later. If we can't even film a kiss scene now, what are we going to do about those scenes? Guhichi silently agreed. You're right, but Kuhichi uttered a startling sentence. This time, I won't kiss you by surprise. I'll give you time to prepare. Shall we try you Baichu and Liu Yu's kiss scene under the wisteria trellis? Xiao Jing, you really want to do this kiss scene well, don't you? So you'll agree. Kuhichi's voice seemed to hold an irresistible allure, and Guhichi nodded involuntarily. Receiving Guhichi's agreement, Kuhichi embraced her. Guhichi leaned her head against Kuhichi's shoulder, blushing. This is the first time I've dared to be this close to her. The heat from her body is transferring to me. It's so hot. I'm surrounded by her scent. It makes me feel... Just then, Kuhichi gently pressed her lips against Guhichi's. Guhichi closed her eyes, sighing softly. I can't keep running away. Suddenly, Guhichi opened her eyes. She placed a hand nervously on Kuhichi's chest. Wait a minute. Beneath the water's surface, Kuhichi's legs rested on either side of Guhichi's thighs, pressing closer and closer. Guhichi felt herself enveloped in Kuhichi's embrace, her breath growing heavier. Her mind screamed at her to stop this, to pull away. But Kuhichi's gaze seemed to pierce through her, as if trying to memorize every detail of her face. Lost in those eyes, Guhichi found herself unable to move. Unconsciously, she yielded to Kuhichi's fervent kiss, her body instinctively responding to the unfamiliar sensations that coursed through her. The only sound was the frantic beating of their hearts. Guhichi clutched at the collar of her robe, her fingers tightening, then loosening in a daze. Lost in the depths of the kiss, she thought, her lips are so soft. Suddenly, Guhichi's eyes flew open. Why am I thinking that? She abruptly pulled away, her gaze darting to the side. I can't do this anymore. Kuhichi asked, Xiao Jing, do you plan to act like this during the main love scene? Guhichi looked down, embarrassed. But I can't act like that. Kuhichi gently tilted Guhichi's chin up. Anyone can act out a love scene. You're saying you can't. Her voice dropped to a lower register. This is a very important scene. Guhichi gritted her teeth. I know. She looked at Kuhichi with a reluctant expression. Come on then. With Guhichi's consent, Kuhichi leaned in, capturing her lips in another deep kiss. Kuhichi's hand found its way to Guhichi's breast. Guhichi gasped, startled. Where's her hand? But after a moment, she relaxed, her arm winding around Kuhichi's neck. Kuhichi continued to kiss her passionately. A bead of water trickled down Guhichi's chin, splashing into the water and distorting their reflection. Finally, Guhichi broke away, gasping for air. She turned her head shyly. We kissed for too long. Yu Baichu and Lu Yu's kiss under the wisteria trellis is only 2 seconds long. Kuhichi, seemingly satisfied, looked at Guhichi with affection. Whatever she says now is right, she thought. Acting truly is the most enviable profession in the world. She looked at Guhichi with open admiration. Xiao Jing, you're improving so quickly. You'll definitely win Best Actress someday. Guhichi raised an eyebrow. How can I compare to you, Sister Ku? You can act out these intense scenes with anyone so calmly. Kuhichi chuckled. Well, Xiao Jing, you're a woman too. But acting is like this. When I first started, I probably messed up kiss scenes dozens of times. Guhichi looked at her questioningly. Kuhichi continued. Once you accept a role, you become that character, not yourself. If the character cries, you cry. If the character laughs, even if your family is grieving, you have to laugh brightly. When I'm Yu Baichu, I don't find it difficult to act out a scene where I can't help but kiss Lu Yu. And I think when Lu Yu is kissed by Yu Baichu, she would feel happy, not resist. Guhichi suddenly realized something. I thought she was just like that. That acting was just a passing interest. That she got to where she is today, mainly because of luck. I didn't realize she works so much harder than me and understands so much more. Guhichi looked down. Maybe that's where I fall short. Kuhichi rose from the water. Xiao Jing, soaking in hot water for too long can cause headaches. Kuhichi stood, her figure striking, and looked at Guhichi. Let's get out, she said. Guhichi obediently replied, oh. Once they were seated, Kuhichi began to praise her. Actually, you did really well. After finishing her sentence, she extended a hand towards Guhichi, who looked at her quizzically. Kuhichi's my jamindin. Let me do it, she offered. At least you seriously tried to address the issue. Not everyone can accept kissing their enemy. It requires a flexible mindset. Guhichi stammered, we're not really enemies, are we? Sometimes I just hate being compared to you. Guhichi admitted, not you yourself. Kuhichi's hand paused mid-stroke as she dried her hair. Then she said softly, so, Xiao Jing, would you like to try being friends with me? And after that, the two of them became closer, discussing the script together. Guhichi felt it too. It seemed to be because they had practiced that awkward hot spring scene. After that, the number of times Kuhichi and I practiced kissing scenes gradually increased. The relationship between us really did soften. It became harder and harder for me to refuse her kindness. The scenes in the film went smoothly. Fortunately, the practice was quite effective. The initial awkwardness and the difficult scenes all showed progress. Filming became much smoother. Guhichi remembered when the director had praised them profusely. Finally, much better. You two have been coordinating well recently. The filming pressure was too high a few days ago, so I specifically gave you two days off. Right there on set, the director repeatedly praised their state. As the lead actress, Guhichi also had confidence that she could perform well in this film. She didn't want to waste time and wanted to take advantage of her good spirits to speed up the filming process. But that was when she called Assistant Zhao. Zhao, arrange a 4-hour schedule for me tomorrow night. Yes, she wanted to attend that charity gala. The reason was that she simply had to attend that charity gala, even if it was just to relax a bit. The next day, at the charity gala, Guhichi wore an extremely glamorous blue evening gown, accompanied by Assistant Zhao. Suddenly, she froze when someone called her name. It was a group of reporters rushing towards her. Assistant Zhao tried to intervene. Excuse me, reporters, please step back a little. They continued to press forward, eager for information. We heard that your relationship with Miss Ku has improved a lot. Is this true? Guhichi furrowed her brow. The reporters continued to ask, we heard that your relationship with Miss Ku has improved a lot. Can you confirm this? Faced with the barrage of questions, Guhichi simply replied, Miss Ku and I are excellent collaborators. A reporter spoke up again. Miss Ku, according to a reliable source, the second female lead in the film Lost in Time that you're currently filming has been changed to Lin Mingling. Hearing that green tea bitch's name irritated Guhichi. The reporters continued to bombard her with questions. Why is Lin Mingling playing the supporting female lead? Are Guhichi and Lin Mingling really connected somehow? Miss Gu, many people in the industry have speculated that Ku Hichi's boyfriend is supported by Ning Xiao. What do you think? Assistant Zhao intervened again. Excuse me, we won't answer questions related to other artists. Gu Hichi slipped away discreetly. Every time, the questions revolve around Ku Hichi. She pouted at the group of reporters. Am I really not worth asking about? A moment later, Assistant Zhao said, I knew they'd ask about Ku Hichi. I warned you. You really didn't have to come to this charity gala. Why did you want to attend anyway? Gu Hichi leaned in and replied, It's for my cousin. Assistant Zhao asked, Is it the little girl who had leukemia last year at the hospital? Gu Hichi's brow furrowed as she mentioned her cousin. Yes, her dream is to get married, to wear the wedding dress Tong Kan wore in the movie Azure Gown. Remembering the girl's frail appearance in the hospital, a pang of sympathy struck her. Liang Yu told me they're auctioning that dress tonight. I have to get it for her. Assistant Zhao patted her shoulder comfortingly. All right, I'll support you. I'll go tell the management. Gu Hichi responded softly. Okay. A moment later, someone sat down beside her. Gu Hichi looked up in surprise. Duong-du, what a coincidence. Duong-du rested his chin on his hand, a roguish smile playing on his lips. No coincidence at all. I specifically asked the organizers to seat me next to you. Gu Hichi gave him a strained smile. A moment later, she was surprised again by the sight of a familiar figure. Her eyes widened. Ku Hichi. Murmurs of excitement rippled through the crowd as they looked at Ku Hichi. Among them was our little fox, Gu Hichi. She looks so beautiful tonight. Just then, a strikingly handsome man, Nin Kao, approached Ku Hichi. Gu Hichi, a flicker of jealousy in her eyes, scoffed internally. Average looking, always wearing black. Ku Hichi, ever perceptive, caught Gu Hichi's eye and offered a captivating smile that sent a blush creeping up Gu Hichi's cheeks. Gu Hichi quickly looked away. And those reporters are all over Nin Kao. Doesn't she know how to avoid suspicion? Maybe they really are a couple. Once everyone was settled, the MC began. Thank you, distinguished guests, for joining us tonight. All proceeds from this auction will be donated to charity. Nin Kao leaned closer to Ku Hichi. If there's anything you want, just tell me. Ku Hichi didn't reply. Her gaze fixed on Duong-du. Nin Kao, sensing the shift in her attention, murmured, It seems your heart is already set on Xiao Jing. The MC's voice boomed through the hall. Next up for auction is this piece. This is the bridal gown, worn by three-time Best Actress Tong Kan in the film Azure Gown. She has generously donated it to us. The camera zoomed in on the dress. The starting bid is 30,000 NDT, announced the MC. Gu Hichi excitedly raised her paddle, her heart fluttering. It's just a costume, after all. It doesn't hold the same significance or value as those jade pendants and paintings. Surely no one will bid against me. Gu Hichi, the MC called out, What is your bid? Gu Hichi calmly held up 5 fingers. 50,000 NDT from Gu Hichi. The MC announced, Do we have any higher bids? 50,000 going once. 50,000 going twice. The cameraman swung towards Nin Kao. The MC's voice lifted with excitement. Mr. Nin, you've raised your paddle. What is your bid for Tong Kan's wedding dress? The wealthy and handsome Nin Kao bid 1 million. Gasps rippled through the room. What? Did I hear that correctly? Mr. Nin Kao is bidding 1 million NDT for this dress. A dress with a starting price of 30,000 going for 1 million. This Nin Kao sure is loaded. He must be drowning in money. Ku Hichi muttered beside her, a frown creasing her brow. What are you doing, Xiao Jing? I want that dress. Nin Kao replied nonchalantly, Xiao Ku, that's Tong Kan's dress. Ku Hichi's voice trailed off. You still. She glanced back at Gu Hichi. The MC's voice rang out. Do we have any other bids? Gu Hichi hesitated. I really want to get that dress for my cousin, but at this price. Beside her, Duong-du spoke up. If Miss Gu likes this dress, I'll buy it for you. With a flourish, the dashing Duong-du raised his paddle. The MC, seeing the number 2 he signaled, stammered, Mr. Duong-du, are you bidding 2 million in DT? Needless to say, Duong-du's handsome face was projected onto the large screen. The MC, practically dizzy from the escalating price, continued, All right, Mr. Duong-du has bid 2 million NDT for Tong Kan's wedding dress from the film. Are there any higher bids? Murmurs rippled through the hall. A dress worth 30,000 going for 2 million. I think Duong-du is bidding for Gu Hichi. Both Gu Hichi and Ku Hichi were lost in their own thoughts. The excitement in the hall reached fever pitch. At 2 million, surely no one will bid any higher. But then, Nin Kao raised his paddle again. He held up 3 fingers. 3 million. The MC shouted. Mr. Nin Kao bids 3 million. Gu Hichi turned to Duong Du anxiously. Mr. Duong Du, this isn't that important to me. Let Mr. Nin Kao have it. Duong Du simply smiled and calmly raised 5 fingers. The MC, seemingly overwhelmed by the sheer amount of money being thrown around, announced 5 million. Mr. Duong Du bids 5 million. Do we have any higher bids? Suddenly, the MC's voice boomed. 7 million. 7 million. Mr. Nin Kao bids 7 million. Are there any higher bids? Gu Hichi looked at Duong Du, flustered. Mr. Duong Du, I'm truly grateful, but this is too much. Even if you bought it, I couldn't accept it. Let's not compete anymore. He maintained his cheerful smile. It's all right. I'm happy that this money is going to charity. From the perspective of the audience, the two seemed to be acting intimately, much to the delight of the gossiping onlookers. Duong Du is clearly bidding on this dress just to see the beauty smile. Someone else chimed in, of course. Why else would a man like him buy a woman's dress? Ku Hichi, looking on with displeasure, turned to Assistant Ling. Didn't you say Duong Du had given up on pursuing Xiao Jing? Assistant Ling rubbed her forehead tiredly. His contract is almost up. There's nothing I can do. Ku Hichi watched their interaction, a bitter taste in her mouth. The MC's voice, full of excitement, cut through the air. 8,880,000 NDT. Mr. Zungzubi Damtiu Damjam Damwingin Yunzente. Do we have any higher bids? 8,880,000 going once. 8,880,000 going twice. 8,880,000 going. Suddenly, another paddle went up. Nin Kao, raising an eyebrow, looked at Ku Hichi. So, she's making her move. Seeing Ku Hichi hold up 1 finger, the MC announced, it seems Miss Ku Hichi is also interested in the dress worn by our award-winning actress Tong Kon Kon. Miss Ku Hichi bids 10 million NDT. Do we have any higher bids? The room buzzed with excited chatter. What's so special about this dress that they're fighting over it like this? Someone whispered. Nin Kao and Ku Hichi's relationship really is something else. Another voice chimed in. I bet Ku Hichi is just bidding to save face for Nin Kao. A third added. Gu Hichi is the one who actually wants the dress. It's obvious Duong Du is just trying to impress her. Yet another voice, laced with suspicion, murmured, I heard Gu Hichi and Ku Hichi patch things up after filming together. Why is she fighting Gu Hichi over this dress so fiercely? The whispers, though hushed, sunk into Gu Hichi's heart, leaving her in troubled thought. Ku Hichi jumped in too. I thought she said we were friends. Was that all a lie? Turning back to Duong Du, she forced a smile. Mr. Duong, I really don't need this dress. Please, don't compete with them. They both treat money like it's nothing. There's no need to get into a bidding war with them. But the dashing Duong Du refused. I told you I'd get you this dress. He raised his paddle again, and the MC's voice boomed. 12 million NDT. Gu Hichi silently pleaded. Ku Hichi, please let this end. Don't bid anymore. But her hopes were dashed as the MC called out. Miss Ku bids 10,880,000 NDT. The auction had reached a fever pitch, the tension practically radiating off the audience. Suddenly, Gu Hichi reached out and covered Duong Du's hand, stopping him from raising his paddle. Don't bid anymore, she pleaded. Mr. Duong, are you bidding any higher? The MC asked. Gu Hichi shook her head vehemently. The MC began the final countdown. 10,880,000 going once. 10,880,000 going twice. 10,880,000 going 3 times. Sold. Congratulations to Miss Ku Hichi for winning the wedding dress from the film Azure Gown worn by actress Tong Kon Kon. Gu Hichi stood up, her face pale. I'm feeling a little unwell, she murmured to Duong Du, excuse me. She turned and walked towards the exit, alone. The crowd swarmed Ku Hichi, offering their congratulations. Miss Ku, congratulations on winning the dress. Miss Ku, you're so impressive. Gu Hichi glanced back, her lips pressed together in a thin line. Ku Hichi, who are you really? Ku Hichi, surrounded by well-wishers, looked towards Gu Hichi, silently mouthing her name. Xiao Jing. Gu Hichi's face was a mixture of sadness and disappointment. She turned and walked away. Outside, Assistant Zhao hurried after her. Why did you leave? She asked, falling into step behind Guhichi. You can't just leave in the middle of an event like that. The agency will have something to say about this, Assistant Zhao added anxiously. Guhichi ignored her, pressing the button for the elevator. Inside, Guhichi scanned the room, searching for Guhichi. Assistant Zhao spotted her. Miss Ku, you're just in time. Please stop Xiao Jing. If she leaves, CEO Zhao will kill me. Hearing Guhichi's name, Guhichi quickened her pace. Guhichi immediately broke away from the crowd and hurried after her. She caught Guhichi's arm, her face etched with worry. Xiao Jing, she said softly. Guhichi turned, her expression tight. Guhichi pressed her against the wall, her voice low and serious. Xiao Jing, the party isn't over yet. Where are you going? Guhichi pulled away. It's none of your business where I go, she retorted. Guhichi flinched. All right, I won't ask where you're going. Just please don't leave now. If the press catches you, they'll tear you apart. Guhichi laughed, a bitter sound. Being caught by the press would be better than watching you and your nin cow conspiring to steal something from someone else. With that, Guhichi pushed Guhichi away. Guhichi, just let me go. But Guhichi refused to let her leave. She gripped Guhichi's hand, her voice pleading. Xiao Jing, it's not what you think. Nin Kao and I are just cooperating. But before she could finish, Guhichi wrenched her hand free, tears welling in her eyes. I don't care what your relationship with him is, but that dress was important to me. I know this is an auction, and everyone has the right to bid. Guhichi choked out, her voice thick with emotion. But I just wanted that one thing. I thought you at least would understand as a fellow actress and let me have it. But instead, you and Nin Kao ganged up on me, driving the price so high I couldn't possibly afford it. Just because you have money, you think you can bully people like this. Guhichi looked at Guhichi, her heart aching at the sight of her tears. Xiao Jing, she said softly, listen to me. I didn't bid against you to take the dress. I just didn't want Duong Du to buy it and give it to you. Guhichi's tears turned to anger. Enough, she cried. What's so special about Duong Du that a big star like you and Nin Kao would target him? I actually believed you wanted to be friends with me when we filmed together. I was so stupid to believe your words. You haven't changed at all. You take everything I want. I hate how you pretend to be nice to my face. Is it that amusing to play with me? Guhichi reached out and took Guhichi's hand, her face etched with worry. Xiao Jing, I don't. But anger had clouded Guhichi's judgment, and she lashed out, spitting venomous words. I don't want to hear another word from you. You're disgusting. Guhichi froze, her eyes filled with despair. As soon as the words left her mouth, Guhichi regretted them. Even in her anger, she knew she had gone too far. She began, looking at Guhichi with guilt. But before she could apologize, Guhichi suddenly shoved her against the wall, her eyes blazing. And then, without warning, Guhichi kissed her. The unexpected action stunned Guhichi, her mind going blank. She pushed Guhichi away, her heart pounding. Guhichi has lost her mind. Without hesitation, she slapped Guhichi hard across the face, the sharp sting bringing them both back to reality. Distraught, Guhichi turned and fled, her footsteps echoing in the empty hallway. Guhichi stood alone, consumed by regret. She's right. I've gone mad. The word disgusting echoed in her ears. When I heard you say that, I was terrified. I just wanted to stop you from saying anything else. I wanted so badly to keep you here, but I've ruined everything. High above, a plane sliced through the night sky. Guhichi stared out the window, her heart heavy. Have you seen the news today? Assistant Ling asked quietly. Guhichi turned, her brow furrowed. What news? Assistant Ling handed her a phone. Guhichi's eyes widened in horror as she read the headlines. Yu Chung exposes Guhichi's underhanded tactics. Actress uses scandal to rise to fame. The target of the vicious attacks was Guhichi. The top trending post was a statement from Yu Chung detailing how Guhichi had ignored an elderly person who had fallen. Yu Chung gave an interview. Assistant Ling explained, her voice laced with worry. He revealed his past relationship with Guhichi and claimed he broke up with her because he couldn't stand her callous indifference when she ignored an elderly person who fell on the street. And today, they released the news about her ignoring a fallen person. Everyone just looked the other way. Now, Gu Hichi has become the epitome of everything wrong with showbiz. Assistant Ling scrolled through the hateful comments flooding social media. Several major media outlets had also published articles unfavorable to Gu Hichi. Gu Hichi looked at her assistant. Contact Yu Chung. Whatever he wants, I'll get it to him. Assistant Ling looked troubled. Do I even need to say it? I call him as soon as I saw the news. But he's being vague about the whole thing with Gu Hichi. When I pressed him, he said it was a private matter. But what he said, it's all true. Gu Hichi began to strategize. It's a good thing she's on a plane right now. She probably hasn't seen it yet. I still have time to fix this. She looked at Assistant Ling, her voice firm. Use whatever connections you need to. Spend money if you have to. Control the narrative. This can't be a coincidence. I suspect someone is using Yu Chung to target Xiao Jing. Assistant Ling nodded. I think so too. The important thing is to find out who. Gu Hichi frowned deep in thought. A few days later, on the film set, director Kwong called cut with a sigh of frustration. He turned to Gu Hichi, his voice sharp. Hichi, can you please focus? You're supposed to be conveying deep emotion. Are you even trying? Gu Hichi's brow furrowed. I'm sorry, Director Kwong. Director Kwong softened slightly. I'm not trying to pressure you. Are you being affected by the media frenzy? He paused. Tell you what, take the day off. Get some rest, and we'll pick this up tomorrow. Gu Hichi looked surprised, a silent protest forming on her lips. It's not really about that. While everyone else bustled about, preparing to leave, Gu Hichi sat hunched over, lost in thought. Gu Hichi. The memory of Gu Hichi's kiss flashed through her mind. Why did she do that? She touched her lips, her face flushing. Was that some kind of twisted revenge? Just then, a voice called out from behind her. Xiao Jing. It was Xiaoan. I know the media has been spreading a lot of false rumors about you lately. Don't pay attention to them. It's not worth letting it affect your work. Gu Hichi managed a weak smile. Thanks, Xiaoan. I know. Xiaoan hesitated. Don't mention it. Honestly, I feel really bad for you. I mean, Yu Chung is my senior, but I really can't defend him. Gu Hichi looked down, silent. Then she looked up at Xiaoan. She asked hesitantly, do you know about being gay? Xiaoan blushed, scratching her head awkwardly. Yeah, I've heard there are quite a few gay people in the entertainment industry. I don't really know much about it, though. Gu Hichi hesitated. What do you think about Gu Hichi? Xiaoan looked surprised. Gu Hichi? You mean the Gu Hichi? Xiaoan continued, her voice trailing off. Well, I've heard rumors that she and Ninkao are dating. She added quickly, but those are just rumors. As for whether she's gay, well, Gu Hichi is nice to everyone. I'm sure there are girls who have a crush on her, but whether she feels the same way, that's hard to say. Gu Hichi looked down, dejected. I see. She forced a smile and said goodbye to Xiaoan. Thanks. As she waited at a red light, the car radio blared. Famous actress Gu Hichi embroiled in yet another scandal. Assistant Yu, Gu Hichi's personal assistant, quickly switched it off, glancing at Gu Hichi with concern. Gu Hichi's mind was filled with images of Gu Hichi. Every word Gu Hichi had spoken seemed etched into her heart. I don't like women. The memory brought a fresh wave of pain. She said she doesn't like women. Wait, why am I even thinking about this? Gu Hichi blushed, lost in thought. Just then, Assistant Yu spoke up. Sorry, Xiao Jing, I forgot to turn off the radio. Gu Hichi, lost in her thoughts, asked what. At that moment, her phone rang. It was an unknown number. She answered. The voice on the other end said, Miss Gu Hichi, I want to talk to you. 7 p.m. tonight. Let's meet at Lamvu, all right? Gu Hichi felt a flicker of recognition. Is that Lin Mingling? The voice replied, that's right. 7 p.m. tonight. We're not leaving until we've talked. The line went dead. Gu Hichi lowered her phone, bewildered. I didn't even agree to that. She's quite demanding, isn't she? She turned to her assistant. What do you think Lin Mingling wants to talk about? Yu replied nonchalantly, probably a love confession. Gu Hichi looked at her phone, hesitant. Well, I guess I'll go and see what she wants. Time passed quickly. At Lamvu, as Gu Hichi arrived, Gu Hichi stepped off her plane. Xiao Jing, where are you? Gu Hichi's phone rang incessantly, but the surrounding noise drowned it out. Gu Hichi, on the other end, grew increasingly anxious. Pick up. Inside the restaurant, a waiter approached Gu Hichi. Excuse me, are you Miss Gu? Gu Hichi nodded. Yes. The waiter gestured. Miss Lin has been waiting for you. Please follow me. He opened the door and bowed slightly. This way, please. Lin Mingling beamed as Gu Hichi entered. Miss Gu, you're here. Please have a seat. Gu Hichi offered a polite apology. I'm so sorry I'm late. Lin Mingling waved it off. It's fine. I've always been a straightforward person. I have something I want to say to you directly. I want you to leave Huanggu International and the Lost in Time production and join Tin Hoa Quang Entertainment. Gu Hichi stared at her, surprised. Ting Hoa Guan Yin Den. Isn't that the entertainment company under the Lin Corporation? They're quite influential. Lin Mingling continued, I can not only guarantee that you'll become Tin Hoa Quang's top star, but I can also secure the lead role in Snow on the Tea Leaves for you. As long as nothing else goes wrong, the Best Actress Award next year will be yours. Gu Hichi's phone buzzed insistently in her pocket. She pulled it out and saw the caller ID. Gu Hichi. Why is she calling me so many times? Lin Mingling noticed her distraction. Miss Gu, are you listening to me? Gu Hichi stammered, She quickly silenced her phone. While your offer is certainly tempting, I'm not sure I possess the talent to warrant such a generous offer. Could you tell me your true intentions, Miss Lin? Lin Mingling demurred. What intentions could I possibly have? She tucked a strand of hair behind her ear and looked at Gu Hichi. I simply appreciate talent. It would be a shame for your acting skills to be wasted. With a little help, becoming an A-list celebrity wouldn't be difficult. It would be beneficial for both of us. Why not give it a try? Gu Hichi, however, was preoccupied with her phone. If I don't answer, she'll just keep calling. Excuse me, Miss Lin, she said, I need to take this call. Lin Mingling smiled graciously. Of course. As Gu Hichi walked towards the door, Lin Mingling muttered under her breath, These actresses, they change their tune faster than the flip of a pancake. Smugly, Lin Mingling dropped something into Gu Hichi's wine glass. Outside the restaurant, Gu Hichi complained into her phone, Gu Hichi, why have you called me 10 times tonight? What's so important? A luxury car sped down the street. Inside, Gu Hichi anxiously asked, Xiao Jing, did Lin Mingling ask you to meet? Gu Hichi's voice sharpened with surprise. How did you know? Gu Hichi quickly responded, That's not important. Listen to me, no matter what she says, just ignore her. Don't agree to anything. Gu Hichi retorted, Are you too close or something? Gu Hichi's voice was laced with unease. Just trust me on this. I won't hurt you. Gu Hichi paused, her mind flashing back to the auction. She remembered Gu Hichi's provocative lean, the way she'd carried herself. A frown creased Gu Hichi's brow. Forget it, Gu Hichi. I can handle my own affairs. I don't need anyone telling me what to do. Gu Hichi's voice was frantic. Xiao Jing, please don't be reckless. You can hate me, but please believe me on this. Don't stay with her too long. If you can leave right now. Gu Hichi hesitated. Gu Hichi's urgency, her genuine concern, even the slight pleading in her tone, gave her pause. But she hardened her voice. I can handle this myself. Thank you for your concern, Gu Hichi. Goodbye. Gu Hichi hung up, clutching her phone to her chest. This time, I'll listen to her. She hurried back into the room. I'm so sorry, Miss Lin. Something came up. I have to leave. Lin Mingling replied smoothly. Why don't you at least look over the contract? It contains everything I promised you. If I breach it, I'll compensate you for all losses. Gu Hichi remained firm. I've been with Huanggu International for years. They've treated me well. I have no intention of leaving anytime soon. Thank you for your offer, Miss Lin. Lin Mingling maintained her friendly smile. That's all right. If business doesn't work out, we can still be friends. Lin Mingling raised the drugged wine glass. I like to toast you, Miss Gu. If you change your mind, you can contact me anytime. I've waited this long for you. Surely you won't leave without even having a drink with me. Gu Hichi looked at the wine, considering. She has a point. It's just a glass of wine. The unsuspecting Gu Hichi took the glass. She even smiled brightly at the scheming Lin Mingling. Cheers, Miss Lin. Then, she drained the glass in one gulp. Lin Mingling watched her, a sinister smile playing on her lips. As soon as she swallowed, Gu Hichi felt dizzy. What is this? Her vision blurred and her body weakened. Seeing Gu Hichi's state, Lin Mingling feigned concern. Oh dear, I forgot to warn you. This wine, Gu Hichi's eyes, now hazy, drifted towards her. Lin Mingling's smile widened. It's quite strong, even though it's just wine. Drinking it so quickly, you're bound to feel it. Gu Hichi could barely stay conscious. She clutched her head, feeling nauseous. I'm so dizzy. I should have sipped it. I need to call someone to pick me up. She fumbled for her phone. Suddenly, the door opened. Two scantily clad women entered. Through her blurred vision, Gu-Hichi watched them approach. These two vipers dare to coil around our precious darling, Lin Mingling sneered, gesturing to the women. They ride suggestively. We'll treat her like a queen. We'll make her so comfortable. A nice bath, a full body massage. How does that sound? Gu-Hichi, her voice weak, tried to resist. No, I don't need. I want to go home. The women clung to her, their grip tightening. Let's help you undress, one purred. Don't be shy. Gu-Hichi struggled, her discomfort escalating. I said no. Her body trembled, her attempts to push them away futile as her limbs grew heavy. Gu-Hichi gritted her teeth, despair creeping in. What do I do? Someone please help me. Suddenly, the door burst open. Gu-Hichi, her hero, had arrived. Vipers, temptresses, all would tremble before her. Gu-Hichi had already lost consciousness. The first thing Gu-Hichi noticed was the camera in the corner of the room. She rushed to Gu-Hichi's side. Using such despicable tactics, blackmailing people into joining your Tin Hoa Quang entertainment. Lin Mingling, is this how your company has been operating all these years? Lin Mingling, watching from a monitor, was taken aback. I didn't expect Gu-Hichi to be so calm. Gu-Hichi turned to the two women, her voice controlled. Get out. The women, startled, scurried away. Gu-Hichi gently draped her coat over Gu-Hichi. Xiao Jing, she whispered, I'm so sorry I'm late. Thank goodness nothing worse happened. She stood and looked down at Gu-Hichi. I'll take you home soon. Moments later, Lin Mingling's door opened. Gu-Hichi stormed in, her voice filled with anger. Lin Mingling, why are you so obsessed with bringing Gu-Hichi to Tin Hoa Quang? Lin Mingling adopted a saccharine tone. Well, who told her to keep fluttering around you? Gu-Hichi frowned, her patience wearing thin. My relationship with her has nothing to do with you. She's worked hard to get where she is. Don't ruin her. If you cross her boundaries, you'll suffer the consequences. Lin Mingling slammed her hand on the desk. If you think she's your boundary, then congratulations, you've just angered me. Gu-Hichi, unwilling to argue with someone so unreasonable, turned to leave. You're not the only one who knows how to play games, Lin Mingling. Someone might tolerate your tantrums, but it won't be me. She slammed the door behind her. Lin Mingling seethed, her teeth grinding together. Gu-Hichi carefully helped Gu-Hichi out of the building. She looked at Assistant Ling apologetically. I'm so sorry to drag you out here in the middle of the night. Assistant Ling replied calmly. Working around your schedule is part of my job. Gu-Hichi, now in the car, stirred slightly. Gu-Hichi spoke softly. Let's go back to the hotel. Gu-Hichi settled into the car beside her. The door closed, and Assistant Ling turned back to them. All right. In the back seat, Gu-Hichi remained unconscious, leaning against Gu-Hichi. Gu-Hichi cupped Gu-Hichi's face reassuringly. Xiao Jing, you're safe now. Don't be afraid. Feeling the warmth of Gu-Hichi's hands, Gu-Hichi instinctively leaned closer. They arrived back at the hotel quickly. Gu-Hichi, ever attentive, began to undress her. Xiao Jing, let me help you out of these clothes. This dress will be uncomfortable to sleep in, Gu-Hichi murmured. Gu-Hichi, still disoriented, shook her head in refusal. Gu-Hichi sighed, a slight frown creasing her brow. Then, gathering Gu-Hichi in her arms, she said softly, It's Gu-Hichi, Xiao Jing. I'm not with Lin Mingling. I'm just going to help you change into something more comfortable so you can sleep better. Okay. Gu-Hichi, her voice small, mumbled, Cool. Gu-Hichi, her voice laced with affection, replied, I'm here. It's Gu-Hichi. Hearing her name, a name that resonated deep within her, brought a sense of comfort to Gu-Hichi. A wave of relief washed over Gu-Hichi. Gu-Hichi gently helped her sit up. Gu-Hichi, not quite herself, clung to Gu-Hichi, momentarily freezing the CEO in place. Gu-Hichi nuzzled her face against Gu-Hichi's neck, causing a blush to creep up the CEO's cheeks. Looking at Gu-Hichi's vulnerable state, Gu-Hichi said softly, I'm going to start undressing you now. Layer by layer, the dress came off, sliding smoothly down Gu-Hichi's slender hips. Their breathing deepened, their bodies flushed with warmth, their eyes locked, burning with an unspoken intensity. Their lips, soft and inviting, trembled slightly. The air crackled with an undeniable tension. Then, Gu-Hichi leaned in, her face close to Gu-Hichi's. Gu-Hichi hesitated, surprised by Gu-Hichi's lack of resistance. But, regaining her composure, she gently pushed Gu-Hichi back. Gu-Hichi reached out, her hand instinctively grasping for Ku-Hichi. Ku-Hichi, with practiced ease, tugged at the strap of her own dress. Sensing Gu-Hichi's unease, she murmured no. Ku-Hichi chuckled softly, her voice full of affection. She lifted her hand and gently touched Gu-Hichi's lips. Even in this state, you still know how to push my buttons, she whispered. Do you think I'm one of Lin Mingling's people? The thought troubled her. Taking Gu-Hichi's shoulders, she reassured her. It's me, Ku-Hichi. I won't hurt you. I need to get you out of these clothes. You can't resist, and you can't keep clinging to me like this. Understand? Gu-Hichi nodded obediently. Ku-Hichi continued undressing her. Good girl, she murmured. Despite her efforts to remain composed, a wave of heat coursed through her. Fighting back her own desires, she focused on the task at hand, carefully changing Gu-Hichi into sleepwear. Gu-Hichi, now comfortable, lay quietly in bed. Ku-Hichi tucked her in. Sleep well, Xiaojing. Sweet dreams. Reluctant to leave, she lingered for a moment, glancing back at Gu-Hichi. Then, she softly switched off the light and left the room. Gu-Hichi slept soundly, peaceful and undisturbed. Suddenly, Gu-Hichi's brow furrowed in discomfort. She was dreaming of Lin Mingling, that viper. Fragments of memory flashed through her mind. She tossed and turned, her body writhing in distress. No, she whimpered. She bolted upright in bed, crying out, stop. Her eyes darted around the room, her hand instinctively reaching up to smooth her hair. Last night, a dream. Or was it? It wasn't a dream. Ku-Hichi had helped her. She'd kept calling, warning her to stay away from Lin Mingling. If only she'd listened, if only she'd left when she had the chance, none of this would have happened. But why would Lin Mingling do such a thing? Should she thank Ku-Hichi? The thought brought a sigh to her lips. Perhaps not yet. She still wasn't sure what Ku-Hichi's intentions were. Just then, her phone rang. Lin Mingling. How dare she call again? But if this was happening, maybe she needed to find out what Ku-Hichi knew. Gu-Hichi decided to leave her room and find Ku-Hichi. But halfway there, a thought stopped her. No, Lin Mingling kept calling. Ku-Hichi understood her better than she understood herself. She'll know what to do, Gu-Hichi murmured to herself. I'm doing this for myself. With newfound resolve, she walked over and knocked on Ku-Hichi's door. Ku-Hichi, are you there? The door opened almost immediately. Ku-Hichi looked at her with surprise. Xiaojing, what are you doing here? Gu-Hichi held up her phone, displaying Lin Mingling's name on the caller ID. Lin Mingling keeps calling. I have a feeling you understand her better than I do. Can you tell me what I should do? Ku-Hichi stepped aside. Come in, we'll talk. After closing the door, Ku-Hichi walked over to a chair. Gu-Hichi spoke. Have you known Lin Mingling for a long time? Ku-Hichi sat down. Yes, she replied simply. Gu-Hichi nodded. I should have listened to you yesterday. I'm sorry for what I said. Ku-Hichi's I know you disliked me. That's why you didn't listen. I should have asked someone else to call you. Gu-Hichi blushed, feeling a little embarrassed at having her thoughts so accurately read. Ku-Hichi, noticing her discomfort, reached out and took her hand. I'm just teasing. Don't take it seriously. Gu-Hichi hesitated, looking at their joined hands. Ku-Hichi, she began, then trailed off. Ku-Hichi, seemingly understanding what she wanted to ask, leaned closer and lowered her voice. What do you want to ask? Gu-Hichi blurted out, are you gay? Ku-Hichi froze, her pupils contracting slightly. Gu-Hichi looked at her expectantly. Well, are you? Gu-Hichi repeated, are you gay? Ku-Hichi quickly answered, of course not. Otherwise, I wouldn't have rejected Lamb too. Gu-Hichi fell silent, studying Ku-Hichi's expression. Ku-Hichi looked back at her, a thoughtful expression on her face. Xiaojing is very principled. If she discovers my true feelings, she'll definitely distance herself. Besides, I'm not lying. I only have feelings for her. With this thought, she looked at Gu-Hichi again, a deep contemplation in her eyes. Gu-Hichi spoke, breaking the silence. Well, you don't have to lie to me. Ku-Hichi forced a smile. Right? Gu-Hichi sighed. It's good if you're not. I don't accept that kind of thing right now. Each word felt like a stab to Ku-Hichi's heart. Gu-Hichi continued. Actually, I really value our relationship the way it was before. Ku-Hichi trembled almost imperceptibly. She values our relationship. Then, a frown creased her brow. She means as friends. I worked so hard to become her friend, and now I'm bound by that word. How can I destroy a relationship she values? Gu-Hichi looked away, a blush rising on her cheeks. Why didn't you say anything during the auction the other day? She asked softly. I was just overwhelmed. That's why I said those things. You must have been angry. Kuhukis, not all. Don't overthink it. Just talk to me. If you agree, I'll always be your good friend. Guhichi stood up. It's strange. Lin Mingling kept calling when I was alone in my room, but she hasn't called since I came here. If she's not going to call, I won't waste any more of your time. I'll go back now. Kuhichi spoke quickly. Wait, I know Lin Mingling. She won't give up. I think you should stay in my room tonight. If she calls, let me talk to her. And if she comes here, you won't be alone. Guhichi frowned, remaining silent. Kuhichi added softly, I'll sleep on the sofa, of course. A moment later, Kuhichi murmured, Xiao Jing, would you mind waiting a moment? I need to get my pajamas. Guhichi readily agreed, her eyes wandering over Kuhichi's wardrobe. So many clothes, she thought, and all the latest styles. They're beautiful. Just then, Kuhichi returned. Guhichi asked, why do you have Don Con stage costume? Kuhichi replied, I bought it. Of course it's mine. Guhichi, puzzled, said, but wasn't Nin Kao the one who wanted it? Kuhichi touched the garment, her voice even. Nin Kao and I aren't dating. I bid on this costume because I wanted to give it to you. I didn't expect things to turn out this way. Guhichi stared at her, lost in thought. Is she telling the truth? Did I misunderstand her? Kuhichi took the costume down. I was planning to talk to you about this. It seems the right time now. Since you asked, she finished, holding it out to Guhichi. I want you to have it. Guhichi stared at the dress, speechless. Kuhichi looked at her, a little perplexed. What's wrong? Don't you want it? Guhichi hesitated, the image of her cousin in the hospital flashing through her mind. I do, she stammered. It's just, I never thought you'd be so kind to me. Kuhichi smiled warmly. So, you finally admit I don't have any ulterior motives. Guhichi, blushing slightly, mumbled, maybe. Kuhichi, her expression softening, reached out and gently pinched Guhichi's cheek. What are you doing? Guhichi asked, flustered. Kuhichi grinned. Just collecting the payment I deserve. She winked playfully. A little pinch to compensate for the price of the dress. Now, I've seen your pajamas. Get some rest. Guhichi, mesmerized, watched her go, her gaze lingering on Kuhichi until the door closed. Snapping out of her trance, Guhichi blushed furiously and scrambled into bed, burying her face in her hands. That vixen, she whispered. The moon had climbed to its zenith. Guhichi tossed and turned, unable to sleep. Finally, she got out of bed and paced restlessly around the room. Suddenly, she stopped. Kuhichi. She thought of Kuhichi sleeping on the sofa. Poor CEO, she murmured. A frown creased her brow. Is she comfortable? She walked over to the sofa and gently touched Kuhichi's shoulder. Kuhichi. Kuhichi's hand shot out, catching hers. In an instant, Guhichi was pulled down onto the sofa, their faces inches apart. Are you awake? She whispered. Why are you looking at me like that? Guhichi asked, her heart pounding. Did I startle you? Kuhichi hesitated. No, I thought. She trailed off. I thought it was a dream. Why else would you be in my room? Her gaze softened as she looked at Guhichi. Guhichi averted her eyes, flustered. Go back to bed, she said. It's late. Lin Mingling hasn't called, so she probably won't bother me anymore. I'm going back to my room. Kuhichi wasn't about to let her go that easily. She sat up. It's so late. Are you sure you want to go back to your room? You can sleep on the bed. I'm fine here. Guhichi's resolve wavered. Finally, she relented. All right, she sighed. Let's both sleep on the bed. It's big enough. I won't mind. Kuhichi's heart leaped. Did she mean that? Was she just being polite? But looking at Guhichi's sincere expression, she couldn't help but believe her. Less than 30 seconds later, she was sitting on the bed. That was fast, Guhichi thought, amused. Come on, she said, patting the space beside her. Get in. Kuhichi's eyes, at that moment, seemed to want to engrave Guhichi into her very being. Guhichi, her voice soft, replied, okay. She quickly climbed into the bed. Just moments before, she had been restless and unable to sleep. Now, she found herself yawning, overcome with drowsiness. I'm so sleepy, she mumbled. I'm going to sleep first. And just like that, she drifted off. Kuhichi watched her, a dreamy, thoughtful expression on her face. It felt surreal, like a dream. The CEO, Kuhichi, lay happily beside Guhichi. Good night, Xiao Jing, she whispered. The next morning, Guhichi wasn't greeted by the sunrise, but by her beloved. Good morning, Kuhichi murmured. Guhichi, still half asleep, mumbled a sleepy morning. She then sat up groggily. Kuhichi, I'm not filming today. Kuhichi, who had been quietly reading the newspaper, folded it neatly. Kuhichi rubbed her head. Kuhichi, do you have to film today? Kuhichi paused, considering, then replied, I don't have any scenes today. Guhichi's face lit up. That's great. Mac's Son Thursday Hoaveen is showing today, starring John Tu and Chutich. Do you want to go see it together? In the current film industry, there were no more than 10 superstars. Kuhichi was considered one of them. And John Tu was entirely worthy of the title of International Best Actress. Perhaps our CEO was feeling a pang of jealousy. Guhichi always looked up to John Tu as a role model and never missed any of her films. Seeing Kuhichi's lack of enthusiasm, Guhichi was puzzled. She then blurted out, if you don't want to go, then forget it. Actually, I don't really want to go with you either. Hearing this, Kuhichi snapped out of a reverie. She quickly explained, Xiao Jing, you misunderstood. I was just thinking about what time would be best to book the tickets. Guhichi replied, I want to go shopping this afternoon. Kuhichi looked at her indulgently. Then let's go see the movie tonight. Guhichi, already out of bed, said, I'm going back to my room to shower. See you later. Okay, I'll wait for you, Kuhichi replied. She then picked up her phone and called Director Kwong. Hello, Director Kwong. This is Kuhichi. I'd like to take a day off. Could we postpone my scenes for today, and I'll work overtime tomorrow to catch up? He readily agreed. Oh, Xiao Ku. No problem at all. Kuhichi expressed her gratitude. Thank you, Director Kwong. Goodbye. Now that Director Kwong had served his purpose, she hung up, ready to go see a movie with her beloved. She immediately texted Assistant Lang, please buy 2 tickets for Mac's Son Thursday Hoaveen. In truth, Kuhichi's heart was already melting. This time, Xiao Jing actually invited me out. I'm so excited. Evening quickly arrived, and the two made their way to the cinema. They walked close together, laughing and chatting. Guhichi was starting to see Kuhichi in a more favorable light. Actually, Kuhichi is a pretty good friend, she thought. Perhaps even better than Luong Yu. Although not present, you could still retort, no way. Scratch that. This friend who forgets her friends when she sees a pretty face. After a while, Guhichi spoke up. There's a nice tea house up ahead. It's still a while before the movie starts. Shall we have some tea? Kuhichi readily agreed. Sure. Inside the tea house, filled with the murmur of conversation, Guhichi asked, I'm curious. Why did you turn down Mac's Son Thursday Hoaveen? The director is Van Nam. After all, Kuhichi explained, you think Van Nam is good, but I find him too impulsive. That film won't win any awards. This was a bit too deep for Guhichi. How do you know before the film is even released whether it will win an award or not? When the topic turned to her area of expertise, CEO Kuhichi immediately became serious. I can predict it with 70 to 80% accuracy. Guhichi's eyes clearly showed a lack of conviction. Just then, a phone began ringing incessantly. It was Duong Du, the handsome actor. But Guhichi hesitated to answer. She glanced at Kuhichi, a hesitant look in her eyes. Kuhichi caught that uncertain glance. Guhichi then said shyly, excuse me, I need to take this call. Kuhichi smiled and replied, go ahead. But inside, our CEO was already brewing a jealous storm. Xiao Jing seems awfully happy to be taking Duong Du's call, she thought. Oblivious, Guhichi answered the phone. Mr. Duong. Duong Du's cheerful voice filled her ear. Guhichi, I just found out I'll be in your city tonight. I was wondering if I could treat you to dinner. Surprised, she asked tonight. On the other end, Duong Du sounded hesitant. Do you have plans tonight? Guhichi stammered, her heart fluttering. Is Duong Du trying to gauge if I'm seeing someone? It seems like he's interested in me. Sensing her hesitation, Duong Du's voice became slightly deflated. If you're busy, don't worry about it. I'm leaving tomorrow. Maybe we can catch up another time. Guhichi quickly replied, it's nothing important really. Could I have a moment to think about it? His voice brightened instantly. Of course. I'll wait, but I really hope to see you tonight. Kuhichi's little Xiao Jing seems a bit shy, and maybe even a little fond of Duong Du. Kuhichi thought, a bitter taste rising in her throat. Guhichi, meanwhile, shyly said goodbye to Duong Du, even thinking kindly of him. Duong Du has a good reputation in the industry. I've never heard any scandals about him. She looked at her phone thoughtfully. Maybe I should give him a chance. I can't stay trapped in the shadow of Naktin forever. I need to move on. This is a rare opportunity. He's leaving tomorrow. Kuhichi, her heart aching, asked a date. Despite the pain, she managed a gentle smile. It's okay. If it's a date, I understand. She stood up abruptly, a look of disappointment on her face, and turned to leave. Guhichi, confused, asked, "You're not angry?" Does she really think I wouldn't be angry? Kuhichi thought. Is CEO Kuhichi really that understanding? Kuhichi forced a smile and turned back. Of course not. It's just a movie. We can watch it another time. Where are you meeting him? I can give you a ride. Guhichi responded awkwardly. No need. I can go myself. Don't trouble yourself. Hearing this, Kuhichi didn't press the matter. All right then. Guhichi turned and walked towards the door. I'll go ahead then. Let's catch up another time. Goodbye. Kuhichi felt like she was falling into a deep pit. Goodbye, she whispered. Guhichi glanced back at Kuhichi through the doorway, a flicker of hesitation in her eyes. Kuhichi stood there, frozen. Then, she walked listlessly towards her car. Isn't the most important thing about liking someone being able to make them happy? If having dinner with Do makes her happy, then that's enough. What more could I ask for? Lost in thought, she got in her car. Kuhichi couldn't focus on driving. Her mind was consumed with Guhichi. But why am I driving toward the cinema? She frowned, a wave of despair washing over her. I'm still not giving up. Suddenly, her phone rang. It was Guhichi. Xiaojing. Why is she calling me? She quickly answered. Hello, Xiaojing. Guhichi's voice came through the phone. Kuhichi, where are you? Kuhichi's voice was subdued. I'm on the highway. Guhichi glanced at her watch, her eyebrows raising in surprise. If you haven't gone back yet, that's good. The movie starts in half an hour. Come here. I'll wait for you in front of the cinema. A while later, Kuhichi arrived. Xiaojing, she asked, weren't you supposed to have dinner with Du tonight? Guhichi replied, I canceled. Then, holding up her phone with a cheerful grin, she added, because I suddenly felt like watching a movie with you was more appealing than dinner with him. So I turned him down. Kuhichi thought, I must say, Guhichi, you still have a conscience. It didn't take much to make our CEO's heart bloom with joy. Guhichi, a little shy, cast a fleeting glance at Kuhichi. Kuhichi spoke sincerely, I'm really happy. Can I hug you? Guhichi blushed. It seems she really is happy that I canceled on him. She was clearly acting indifferent before. Well, we're both girls. It's just a hug. Clearing her throat, she said, I don't know what kind of cheesy game you're playing. It was just a dinner. Kuhichi, don't you have any friends? Kuhichi answered honestly, no, not really. Then, unable to restrain herself, she pulled Guhichi into a hug. The two then headed into the cinema. Guhichi, lowering her voice, pointed and whispered, our seats are over there. Kuhichi asked, Xiaojing, what did you say? Guhichi, without further explanation, took her hand. Come on, I'll lead you. This gesture made Kuhichi blush. Her heart fluttered. Xiaojing is holding my hand. Everything that's happened today. Under Guhichi's enthusiastic guidance, Kuhichi found her seat. Feels like a dream. At that moment, no movie could hold a candle to Guhichi. Kuhichi gazed at her adoringly. Beside her, Guhichi was focused on the screen. Stroking her chin thoughtfully, she murmured, as expected of a veteran actress, that emotion was perfectly portrayed. Meanwhile, Kuhichi was analyzing the main character of her own life story. She's so focused. She's such a keen learner. As the movie ended, Guhichi chattered beside Kuhichi. You were right. This film's perspective is way too arrogant. It never comes down to earth. It feels like it's stuck in the clouds. Director Van Nam lacks creativity, but is eager to show off. Even a good actress like Don Tu can't fully shine in this film. Kuhichi readily agreed. I thought so too. Guhichi, curious, leaned closer. How did you know the movie would be bad before it was even released? Kuhichi took Guhichi's belongings and replied, do you want to know? She then gently pressed the elevator button. Guhichi's senses sharpened, a flicker of suspicion in her eyes. What's with that look? Kuhichi turned, stepping closer. If you want to know, accept the car I offered you first. Guhichi crossed her arms, pondering. Do you have so much money you don't know what to do with it? They stepped into the elevator. Kuhichi replied, if you say so. Guhichi relented. Fine, I accept, but don't give me such expensive gifts anymore. Now, tell me your secret to choosing scripts. Kuhichi continued, it's not that difficult. Everything eventually reveals its true nature. Ultimately, it depends on how well you judge people. Guhichi looked at her quizzically. Judge people? What do you mean? Kuhichi patiently explained, like my assessment of Van Nam. The reason I knew this film wouldn't win any major awards is because he's too superficial. He's eager to show off his talent. The more desperate he is for awards, the more likely he is to make major mistakes. Because once he has that mindset, he loses objectivity and makes himself the center of everything. Gu Hee-chi stroked her chin thoughtfully. Oh, Ku Hee-chi continued. He forgets to pour his heart into the work. How can a director like that create a film that resonates with the public and impresses the judges? Gu Hee-chi seemed to understand. You're right. It's not just directors, it's actors too. If we can't break down our own barriers, we can't truly immerse ourselves in the character and bring them to life. Ku Hee-chi, slightly surprised by this insightful comment, smiled gently at her. But I also understand him. Gu Hee-chi raised an eyebrow. Understand what? Ku Hee-chi continued her explanation. Letting go isn't easy. For some people, if they achieve something too late in life, they can't let it go. Gu Hee-chi widened her eyes. Is there a hidden meaning in her words? She hesitantly asked, You mean you can't let go? Ku Hee-chi's brows furrowed in surprise at the question. Thankfully, the elevator doors opened at that moment. Ku Hee-chi quickly stepped out. We're here, Xiao Jing. Let's go. Gu Hee-chi pouted, annoyed that Ku Hee-chi hadn't answered her question. Putting on her sunglasses, she sulked behind Ku Hee-chi. Suddenly, someone pointed and yelled, It's her. Gu Hee-chi spun around, startled. Behind them, an elderly couple stood. The woman shouted, It's her. She's Gu Hee-chi, the one who didn't help that old man who fell. The old man beside her added angrily, That's her. Gu Hee-chi began to panic. Then, the grumpy old man with the bandaged knee opened a can of paint and ran towards Gu Hee-chi. Without hesitation, he threw the paint at her. Ku Hee-chi cried out, Xiao Jing. Gu Hee-chi didn't have time to react. Her eyes widened as the paint splashed all over her. She froze, stunned. The people around them murmured, It's really Gu Hee-chi. Serve her right. And the one next to her is Ku Hee-chi. Gu Hee-chi finally snapped out of her shock and looked down at herself, covered in paint. The bald old man said to his wife, Get another can. Ku Hee-chi grabbed Gu Hee-chi's hand urgently. She pulled Gu Hee-chi away. Run. Before Gu Hee-chi could fully process what was happening, another can of paint flew towards them. But this time, CEO Ku Hee-chi was there to save the day. You horrible old man. I'll sue you. Paint dripped from Gu Hee-chi as they ran. Reaching the car, Ku Hee-chi hurriedly opened the door. Get in. They'll chase us. Gu Hee-chi said hesitantly, but I'm covered in paint. I'll ruin your car. Ku Hee-chi pushed her inside without a second thought. Don't worry about that. She quickly got into the driver's seat. Your safety is more important. Gu Hee-chi thought to herself, That's true. I'll pay for the car wash. The car sped away. Gu Hee-chi sat quietly. Traffic was heavy on the streets. Back at home, Gu Hee-chi grumbled, What a terrible day. The sound of running water came from the bathroom. Gu Hee-chi sighed in frustration. Even showering won't get all this paint off. Then, calling out from the bathroom, Gu Hee-chi said, Ku Hee-chi, can you check something for me? What kind of paint is this? I can't wash it off at all. Hearing this, Ku Hee-chi, despite being busy, put down her phone. I'm coming. Inside, Gu Hee-chi held a bottle from the shelf. Maybe I should try some olive oil, she said despondently. My hair is all matted together. It's covered in paint, and it just won't come out. If it doesn't work, I'll have to cut it off, she worried. Ku Hee-chi responded, Don't scrub so hard. Then with a Shin-kung look, she continued, Let me try. She gently poured some olive oil into her hand. This should work. As Ku Hee-chi worked, she looked at Gu Hee-chi reassuringly. See, it's working. Don't be stressed. Being near Ku Hee-chi made Gu Hee-chi feel comfortable and at ease. Ku Hee-chi thoughtfully suggested, Why don't you get out of the bath and wrap a towel around yourself? It looks like this paint is going to take a while to come off. Soaking in the tub for too long isn't good for you either. Gu Hee-chi blurted out, Sister Ku Hee-chi. Ku Hee-chi looked up. Yes. Then Gu Hee-chi laughed. You sounded just like my mom just now. Ku Hee-chi raised an eyebrow. Gu Hee-chi continued, oblivious this paint smells so strong. Then, turning her back, she said, You can go out now. Ku Hee-chi looked puzzled. You don't need any more help. A blush crept up Gu Hee-chi's cheeks. No, it's fine. I can do it myself. Internally, her thoughts raced. She mentioned a towel, which reminded me I'm not wearing anything. How did this happen? Have I gotten so used to being naked around her? From behind her, Ku Hee-chi said, It would be faster if I helped you. Gu Hee-chi reacted sharply. No. The scene froze. Then, composing herself, Gu-Hichi looked at Ku-Hichi. Sister Ku, I'm not wearing any clothes, and you're fully dressed. She looked at Ku-Hichi's face. Unless you take all your clothes off too. Otherwise, wouldn't I be at a disadvantage? Ku-Hichi's mind reeled. Xiao Jing. No. Without hesitation, she stood up, her shirt strap slipping off her shoulder. You want me to laugh, don't you? Should I undress like you? Xiao Jing. Gu-Hichi, embarrassed, said never mind. Blushing, Gu-Hichi turned and covered her eyes, leaving Ku-Hichi even more bewildered by her. Hesitantly, Gu-Hichi said, I'm just concerned about your feelings. Ku-Hichi was taken aback. What do you mean? Gu-Hichi slyly replied, even though you're better than me in many ways, don't you feel even a little insecure? Ku-Hichi noticed Gu-Hichi's hand resting on her chest. She froze. Then, turning to leave, she said, you win. Gu-Hichi danced around triumphantly. I won. A while later, a clean Gu-Hichi emerged from the bathroom. I'm done. Suddenly, her eyes widened in surprise. Ku-Hichi had prepared dinner and laid it out on the bed. You finished quickly, Ku-Hichi remarked. The scene was truly picturesque, leaving Gu-Hichi speechless. In her mind, she heard the echo of Great King. What was that? She wondered. Then, scenes from Ku-Hichi's film flashed through her mind. I guess those rumors are out. She couldn't help but admire Ku-Hichi's performance. That's definitely her as Daji. In the scene, Ku-Hichi leaned against a male actor coquettishly. Why does he keep targeting me? Gu-Hichi blushed. That fox-like charm. Even though I know she's the villain, it's hard not to be captivated. Her inner voice screamed, too enchanting. Ku-Hichi, looking puzzled, asked Xiao Jing. Gu-Hichi instinctively stepped back, a flicker of surprise in her eyes. Ku-Hichi, can you teleport or something? Ku-Hichi, puzzled, replied, you were so engrossed in watching just now, you didn't even notice me approach. Gu-Hichi stammered, but you were so quiet. Ku-Hichi, slipping into a playfully dramatic persona, said, the hotel room was carpeted. It's hard to make noise walking on that. Why are you blaming me? She then covered her mouth with her hand, feigning hurt. But if blaming me makes you feel better, she continued, her voice taking on a seductive lilt, then go ahead and blame me. Unable to resist this playful teasing, Gu-Hichi exclaimed, be serious, or I'll go back to my room. Ku-Hichi wasn't about to let her go that easily. She caught Gu-Hichi's hand. Xiao Jing, I'm sorry, she pleaded. Gu-Hichi, softening, turned back to look at her. Seeing Ku-Hichi's utterly sincere expression, she hesitated. Have you ever had your fortune told? Gu-Hichi asked. You should ask someone if you were a fox spirit in a past life. How else could you act so well? It's like you really are dodgy. Ku-Hichi responded innocently. So, do you like fox spirits? Gu-Hichi, flustered, retorted, of course not. I can sense trouble brewing here. Hearing this, Ku-Hichi leaned closer to Gu-Hichi. Then I'm not one, she whispered. Just then, a phone rang, breaking the spell. It continued, ringing insistently. It was Ningko. Gu-Hichi spoke up. Your phone's ringing. You should answer it. My hair's still damp. I'll go dry it. Heeding Gu-Hichi's words, Ku-Hichi walked over and picked up the phone. Hello, Ningko, she answered. Hearing the name, Gu-Hichi's curiosity piqued. She shot a look of annoyance at Ku-Hichi, who was saying, all right. Okay, have him arrange it. Finishing the call, Ku-Hichi hung up. She slowly approached Gu-Hichi, who was pretending to hum a tune. Ku-Hichi sat beside her and asked curiously, Xiao Jing, what song are you singing? Not receiving a reply, she moved closer. Why aren't you saying anything? Gu-Hichi, slyly, replied, you answer me first, and then I'll tell you. A look of unconscious jealousy flickered across her face. What's your relationship with Ningko? Really? Ku-Hichi was evasive. Not receiving a satisfactory answer, Gu-Hichi pouted. Seems suspicious, she muttered. Ku-Hichi finally spoke. He's one of my good friends. Gu-Hichi continued. People are saying you two are dating. Ku-Hichi laughed. Of course not. Ningko and I aren't each other's ideal type. Besides, he already has someone he likes. Gu-Hichi observed her silently. Recalling Ningko's arrogant and aloof demeanor, she couldn't help but comment, he even manages to pull that off. He seems quite fierce, with a cold demeanor like the world owes him something. If you spent a long time with him, your facial muscles would get messed up. Ku-Hichi looked at her affectionately. So, what kind of person do you think I should be with? Gu-Hichi, caught off guard, paused. Someone like you. Being with anyone would seem odd. Even though I don't want to admit it, honestly, most people aren't worthy of you. This sudden, unexpected compliment from Gu Hichi left Ku Hichi momentarily speechless. Xiao Jing, why are you so quiet? She asked softly. Gu Hichi, flustered, deflected. Why is it necessary to be in a relationship? I think you're great as you are. Anyway, your career is taking off. A scandal wouldn't be good. She trailed off, then her eyes widened in surprise. Ku Hichi, don't tell me, are you looking to get into a relationship? Ku Hichi was startled by Gu Hichi's question. She scratched her cheek, flustered. Well, not really, she stammered. Gu Hichi leaned closer, her eyes intent. So, is it a yes or a no? Do you have someone you like? Tell me. Don't blink when you answer, Gu Hichi continued, so I can tell if you're lying. Ku Hichi, feeling the pressure, abruptly stood up and turned away. Blushing slightly, she said, Xiao Jing, it's getting late. Would you like some warm milk? Gu Hichi, feigning indifference, replied, fine if you insist. Ku Hichi breathed a sigh of relief. I'll call room service then, she said softly. Gu Hichi watched her go. If you really are thinking about a relationship, she said seriously, I advise you to think carefully. You've achieved so much. It would be a shame to throw it all away for love. Her expression softened. If you're lonely, she added, I can keep you company. Ku Hichi turned back, her eyes meeting Gu Hichi's. Gu Hichi, flustered by the intensity of Ku Hichi's gaze, quickly looked away. Don't look at me like that, she stammered. Weren't you going to order me some milk? Ku Hichi smiled, amused. Your milk is on its way, she replied. A short while later, a glass of warm milk arrived. Gu Hichi gratefully accepted it. She proceeded to drink it down in one long gulp. Ku Hichi watched her indulgently. Slow down, she said with a smile. In just 90 seconds, the glass was empty. Gu Hichi playfully darted her tongue out to catch a stray drop of milk on her lip. Suddenly, a scene from their drama, Lost in Time, flashed across the television screen. It showed Daji, played by Ku Hichi, kissing the Emperor, played by Gu Hichi. Oh, gross. Gu Hichi exclaimed, pointing at the screen. You two look so natural together, she continued, her tone shifting to one of playful accusation. You must have practiced that kiss beforehand, haven't you? Ku Hichi responded innocently, of course. Gu Hichi adopted a serious expression. Honestly, with your current status, you could refuse any intimate scenes. And I think you should, she added. Ku Hichi patiently explained, the reason I accepted the role in Lost in Time was because my co-star was a woman. Intimate scenes with someone of the same gender aren't as awkward. Gu Hichi mused aloud. Intimate scenes with someone of the same gender aren't awkward, huh? She repeated softly. Ku Hichi continued, but it would have been difficult for you. If the male lead had been Tangdu, you wouldn't have found the kissing scenes so easy. Gu Hichi looked down. Actually, I'm not so sure. I always have trouble with intimate scenes. Maybe that's why I've missed out on so many awards. Seizing the opportunity, Gu Hichi said, if you really struggle with intimate scenes, I think you should work on it. Practice more. Ku Hichi replied innocently, I know, but will practice really help? Gu Hichi leaned closer. Try it and see, she whispered. Ku Hichi looked at her, puzzled. Now, Gu Hichi didn't hesitate. Now, she said firmly, an actor must be adaptable, able to immerse themselves in the scene at any moment. With that, she cupped Gu Hichi's face in her hands and kissed her. After a moment, they broke apart, breathless. The only sound in the room was the sound of their ragged breathing. The air was thick with a shared warmth, a mingling of scents. Gu Hichi, still slightly dazed, thought, is that South African men's cologne? Her eyelashes, they're so long and beautiful. Lost in the sensation, Ku Hichi deepened the kiss, her fingers tangling in Gu Hichi's hair. Gu Hichi gasped softly, I can't breathe. Ku Hichi, solicitous, murmured, let's slow down then. Gu Hichi, flushed, thought, is that my voice? I sound like I'm whining. What are we doing? Gu Hichi thought. A flicker of uncertainty